Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors trading on margin. Utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Perfect. All right. So starting the recording as of now. We're a little bit later than expected, but take her away, Al.
Okay, and the disclaimers for the day is trading the foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before deciding to invest in the foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objective, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with the foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. This is a live trading room. It is for educational purposes only. No financial advice or recommendations will be provided. Any trade taken during this live session is not a recommendation or a suggestion that you should also do the same. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Do not trade money that you cannot afford to lose. And before trading live, always operate with a written trade plan that identifies the rules for entries, exits, targets, and risk management. Take it away, Matt.
All right. So as we're going, let's just start looking at a couple currency trades here that we have. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to start sharing my screen in a second here. Here we go. Right here. So you should see my charts. You should see good old AIRO on the charts here. So we got an alert that just came for Euro GBP on the 15-minute. It's saying buy. So if we're going in, we're first going to look for Euro GBP. For the sake of my sanity, I order them by currency alphabetical order because scanning 25 currency pairs is quite a bit. If you guys, just a note, if you see anyone in the chat there that should be brought over as a panelist, please let me know so I can do that. Now,
no problem.
All right. Thank you so much. So we zoom out all the way out, right? That's the first thing that you want to do. So you got lots of red zones, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 red zones. What does that mean? That means you're not going to want to take buys into this zone, right? So let's go down a little bit more into here. So you got red, red, and you got an arrow up. So guess who's not taking this trade? It's not me, because this is not something I would be playing with. I would only look for a potential setup with a down arrow. Actually, that would be a really nice one because since there's no green anywhere, actually, it's all red. So that is a no trade for me based on bag strategy number 1. Hey, look at that. We got another one. So Euro Aussie. So let's go to Euro Aussie. Let's take another check here, see what we got going on. So we scale out all the way out. We see you got 1, 2, 3 green zones, 1 red zone. Well, that means we're looking for a buy. Guys, look, we got an up arrow. So as Mr. Al has done in the last little bit, we can add a little arrow here, right? Where was those arrows? And then we know that we have an uptrend. Now that's a tiny little arrow, but you can actually change that if I can click on it. I don't. I'm not a fan of MetaTrader 4 just because of this, but anyway, you can add that if you want. No big deal. Let's do a little bit of analysis on this trade, okay? So you've got your zone. So you want to see how far you got to your next zone, right? So here's your candle, here's your stick, and then you drag and drop, and we're going up to, oh, I can't see very well. So you almost got 40 pips, right? You got 35, 30, yeah, 32 pips to the next zone. Good enough for me, guys. So overall setup, we're gonna take this guy, gonna swing the bat. So here's a little trick, guys. You can actually click on one-click trading. You click one-click trading, you can turn it on and turn it off. You know what you can do is click here, automatically takes the trade, and then you got something cool here. Modify order. You can set your points to automatically take your 40 pip stop loss and 20 pip take profit. Then you just go bang, bang. Guess what? It's set up. It's done. It's game over. Simple as that. And also note that there's a double arrow. So you got your one arrow and you got your two arrows. That means the trend's pretty strong. So that's a setup I'm comfortable taking. And I will take it on my live account as well. This is a demo for the sake of this call. But I am going to be taking this on my live account. Now, this is not financial advice. So if you're new to this, I would probably consider taking it on demo. Go and practice. Practice is the only way you're going to get comfortable with the system. We can say that it wins 70% of the trades that you take with the right criteria, but unless you experience it, it's hard for you to really put that into practice. So any new system that anyone is trading, especially if you're newer to the trading world, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. Do you see anyone on? I just got a message here. Sorry, guys. So has anyone take this trade with me? Are they? Do you guys see all the same story as I did? Anyone see anything differently?
I took it.
Oh, there's a few of them in.
We got lots of questions here. All right, so we got, let me check the panelists one more time. And Al, maybe you can, if there's anything else in here.
Who are you expecting?
Looking for Ray.
Ray?
Yeah, looking for Ray. Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of names. I've been scrolling here for a while.
170 people in this call this morning. It's so awesome to have such a community, you know? And we're all growing together, right? We're all growing together as a community, trading a similar system. And myself, I focus a lot on strategy 1, to be honest. Some of the other coaches will focus on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or even their own strategy, because there's multiple ways to trade this. But the foundation, I cannot emphasize or overemphasize this, that the foundation is in strategy 1. So we didn't take a look at the news, Al. If you wanted to go and take a quick look at that for us.
Well, let me see.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, let me give me a minute to get it up here.
All right. And then you let me know when I can stop sharing, and then I'll deal with the panelists.
Okay. All right. Make sure I get the right chart here. And okay, let me go
here.
Start sharing.
I'm going to stop. Oh, I need to allow you to share.
Yep.
Who can share? There we go. You should be able to now. Give it a try, my friend.
All right, let's try this. Should be right here. And we have, we'll check out the Forex Factory, see what kind of news we have for Wednesday, January 27th. You'll see that 5:30 this morning, we have some Aussie news. That's already behind us. And it looks like that was the main thing that we have for the rest of the day. Everything else is pretty much yellow folder. So nothing too much going on. So anything that was happening with the news, that's behind us and has already been reacted to. So I think we're good. There will be, check out, just while we're here, check out, see what we're looking at tomorrow. There's several red folder days tomorrow. FOMC meetings, anything that's US based tomorrow. We're looking at tomorrow morning, well, pretty much around midnight tomorrow. And then at 6:30 in the evening, we have some more US red folders. During the bulk of the day tomorrow, we should be okay. And so that's pretty much it for the news. So we shouldn't have anything too major today anymore. So we can move that away. And so what else do we, is anything in particular anybody wants to look at? We did get into this trade right now. As you should be seeing my charts. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the trade that we just got into it. What I do is we look at the direction, we measure, as we said, we measure the distance from the alert to the target zone. We had 31 pips. All I need is 20. And then I just do the right click with my object list. I have these already set up on my templates. When I load the templates, I set one template up just with everything I want. I usually put my 3 horizontal lines, try and get those up near the top. And so then we can just, I just click on what I use for the open one. It's got the right color. I edit it, and you look down at the box where you have the alert. It has a buy and has a price where the buy was at. I just put that in that. Click OK. That gives me my aqua line is always my buy line. My green line is my target, and my stop line I have gold. The only reason I have a gold instead of red is it's easier to read on the chart. With a black background and the red color, it's hard to see that. So I just want to give a little bit off color from the yellow because I use the yellow lines for Fibonacci retracements and things like that. So, but you can see that it's in a strong uptrend. You can see this is a strong move up. It's almost like a rocket ship going straight up, as opposed to like here it's just a little bit less of an angle. This is a pretty strong move. When we got the alert, you can see that there was a nice big wick on this 15-minute candle. The price came down. It was rejected right here. It came up, shot up, caused the candle to close to give us that strength. And then we're looking to the up move. Is it going to get up there? We don't know. There's a high probability that it will. But if it doesn't, we did our homework. We did everything we could do to take the trades according to the rules. Another thing I like about this move is that we had an arrow earlier. Here's the bounce. Here's the arrow. Here's the go right here all the way down. This was back earlier this morning at around 13. That was probably about 6:45 East Coast time this morning. You have taken it at the open of the 7 o'clock bar, which is right here. Keep in mind that when these arrows are generated on the close of the candle, so that you would take the trade on the next candle open. So you could have gotten it here. We have another confirmation. This gives you a strong trend that you have 2 arrows together. You probably won't see a third, and the target zone is pretty much right up here. I go for 20 pips, and if I get the 20 pips, I'm happy with that, and we move on.
All right. So again, I'm seeing questions in the chat. Please send them into the Q&A section so that they don't get lost. That way we can address them as they go. I don't want to feel like you're not being heard. It's just the way that it's going to be easier for all of us here. All right, so still working on the rest of the panelists here. But let's go through some questions. How about that? We got 10 so far that we want to address. So let's go through that.
I see. Where's Dante? First thing is like, where's Waldo?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Find him on the charts. Where is Dante?
Exactly. Yeah. When you have 200 people in a call and you're trying to, even though it's set up alphabetically, sometimes it's hard to find everyone. Give me just a sec. All right. Could you explain a bit more about the time zones of my broker and AIRO money zone? So, guys, there is a limitation to MetaTrader 4, okay? The limitation is that the time zone that it's set is based on your broker. So whether your broker is in the Netherlands or whether your broker is in Australia or whether your broker is in the US, that's going to be different. Now, the money zone does not change. Okay. That does not change. It's always going to be the same time. Now, for the sake of everyone's sanity, I'm going to use New York time to give you an idea. Okay. But we're looking at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m. until 1 p.m. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, East Coast time.
Yeah, East Coast time. So New York. So 1 a.m. in the morning until 1 in the afternoon or after lunch, whatever. That is going to be now in order to put that on your charts and whatnot. Is there a way to modify that so that it reflects on your MetaTrader 4? I think actually, that's part of the.
Yeah, actually, what I do, Matt, is again I go to my objects list. I think I already have one on here. Let me double check that, see if I can find it. Okay. We have it. Look for a vertical line, and the vertical line is so. Let me think. I'm going to take. Let's see. I'm going to take. I don't need so many vertical lines here. I'm going to take one off here. Delete that. And just when you want to delete these things, all you can do is just, if you check on the box, and then you can just go and delete that line. And you see it goes away. I had one on there. So basically, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how we can change this. So I'm going to put a line on, put a vertical line over here on the zone, and then I'm going to edit that line. So I'm going to right click, go to objects list, go to my vertical line, and I'm going to click, make it blue, click on edit. And then what I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say chart time minus 7 hours. So that's what it is for me for 7 hours. And that way I have that set up. And then when I click on that, okay, and I can go away here. Now, if you put your cursor over the line, you'll see where it has a little drop down that says chart time minus 7 hours. And that gives you the, and you can see down at the bottom what the time zone is. And the way you can figure out really what the money zone time is, if you look over, if I go over and scroll this over to the current candle, and I look down at my clock and say, okay, right now this thing says it says 16:15. So this is the candle that opened at in my case 9:15 this morning. So if this is showing 16:15 and my clock is 9:15, that means I'm 7 hours difference. So this clock is basically this candle is showing 7 hours in the future, 7 hours ahead of what my actual time is. So if you want to know what the money zone time is, you come over here where the zone is. You can see where it's shaded on the chart, and you can read down at the bottom. And here it says 8:15. So I know that the money zone starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, chart time, but I know that I'm 7 hours because that's what I figured it out to be for my time zone. So I know if it's at 8 o'clock in the morning chart time, it's at 1 o'clock in the morning my time. And that helps give you a reminder. And the chart, I believe I'm not sure if it's based on the broker or if it's based on where the VPS feed is from. I'm not real clear on that one. But I just know that if I look at where the money zone is, I know that for me it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's based on the broker.
But our broker is somewhere down in the South Pacific.
Yeah, well, it depends what broker you're using, right?
Yeah.
So that's all. Excuse me. Let's go check this out real quick. So we got questions around how did you modify your take profit and stop loss? Al, if you would mind showing them how you do that.
When you get on it, when you get an open trade, you can see I've got a couple open trades here. What I'll do is I'll just click on the trade. I'll right click, and this little window will pop up and says modify or delete order. You click on the modify or delete order, And what I do is I have all mine set for 40 pips. Now 40 pips with my broker it shows a 400. So basically just have to drop the last digit. So 40 pips would be 400 on my points. 220 pips, which is my target, is 200 on my level. And then all I have to do is once I wherever the price is, if I click the copy as, this will drop down into the window. And that'll give me 20 pips from where the price is right now, or 40 pips from where the price is right now. So if I'm a little slow in getting my target put in there, you may want to have to adjust that look down here and see what your price is, where your entry price was. Like right here, my entry price was at 116.98. So I would want to be able to put 116 48 or 58 for my stop. So I would just have to change this a little bit here make that into an 8. And I see that my price was at 116.98. So another 20 pips, that'd be 117.18. So 117.18, I can just manually put it in right here. But I usually keep these as default. So I just go boom, get in the order, click buy, click sell, boom, I'm done. I can do that within a matter of seconds, and that gets you in close enough. And then you just hit the blue bar or the red bar. If it's a short, it'll be a red bar. If it's a buy, it's a long bar, it's a blue bar. Just click on that and it's set. And then this will be ready the next time you want to take a trade on the Forex pairs. It already has your stops and your targets already put in there. Any questions about that? Does that make sense?
Well, that's as simple as she gets. You saw how quick it was to execute the trade, right? It doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take a long time to go and see if you want to take the trade or not. And you're not going to win every trade you take. It's not going to happen. So that's why proper position sizing is actually key. I just had a question in the chat that really, there's nothing worse that actually bothers me as a question like this, and I'll be honest with you. What's the lot size? Well, the lot size is dependent on your risk in the trade as well as your account size.
Okay, and maybe we can go over that.
I think it's absolutely critical until we get another alert, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't know your lot size that you're going to put in the trade, you shouldn't be trading.
So let me pull up the calculator.
That's how you blow your account. Because if I use a lot size like someone that's using a funded account, right, then you're potentially going to dust your account pretty fast.
Okay, so
position sizing.
My question to the person that was asking the question, give me a account size that we're looking at, since you asked the question.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or better yet, I'll just do a hypothetical one too.
All right, so say $500. How about that?
So let's do a $500. Let's do $500. And what pair are we looking at?
Let's just do the last one that we did, Al.
Which was the Euro Aussie? Is that the Euro Aussie? Is that what we're doing?
No, Aussie Kiwi. Wait, do we got another alert that just came in, guys?
Aussie Kiwi.
Yeah, we were talking. We got 2 alerts.
All right, let's go back. We'll get back to that one. Let's take a look at
let's do the alerts and then we'll come back to position.
If we do this trade, we'll do a position size on it. How's that? Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand is over here. And I see lots of red right away. I'm going to scroll in. Make sure I'm on my 15-minute chart, because that's what the time frame I trade off of. And we have lots of red with an up arrow. Right, I can tell you right now that's not a trade, because too much red, a little bit of green, up arrow. It's going right up into all these zones. You're not going to get very far with that. So we'll pass on that. We have a gold trade. Let's go take a look at the gold just for the.
There's also a Kiwi Yen too, Al.
Oh, Kiwi Yen. Okay, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, it came in at the same time as the Aussie.
Okay, Kiwi Yen. Come up here, Kiwi Yen. And I'm going to zoom out as far as I can. I can see that we're in an uptrend. I have an up arrow already. We have a down arrow, no trade. And so we can take a look at it a little bit, scroll out a little bit and see, even if we did have the trade, the question, even if we did take this as if we took this, it would be a contra trend trade, which is one methodology that we haven't addressed in this room yet.
I think this was the one from the earlier session today that we thought that if the second arrow
we do have the second arrow. Yep. Okay. We could maybe we can take this one. Let's see. Let's see if there's room to the downside here. Got 19 pips. Let's take a look at them. But we could, if you have two down arrows in a row, then I think you're allowed to take that trade. We have a down arrow. So we're going to be looking at, it was the Kiwi Yen, sell 74.65, sell at 74.65. Let me get my charts up here. Objects, open trade, edit, 74.65. I should get a blue line right about where the entry was. Now that was, so this was, even though it's a red candle, the entry was actually up here. It was at the open of this candle. It's already pulled back from that. So this is already, it had a little bounce, came back up, entered with a down arrow. But here was the open of this candle. You can see it's down here. Here was the open of it, even though it's a red candle. The stop, I'll put the target in. And my chart's starting to lock up here a little bit on me. Why is that? And did I lose internet? No, still here. Okay, I thought maybe I lost internet here.
No, you're good.
So the entry was 74.65. So my target, we're going short, so 74.45. So 74.45 is my target. Is above the green zone? Yes, it is. Now I'm not going to get in this thing because I'm already halfway to my target already. So I'm not going to take this trade. At least not right at the moment. If it pulls back, I may take it, but right now I'm not going to take this trade. And let's see, this was the, just double checking some things, okay. And then we set our stop. And I could just left click on that twice, and my stop is going to be 40 pips above our entry. And so that's going to be at basically 75.05, we'll call it. 75.05. And there's my stop, here's my target. And I said we're already, you pretty much would have had to catch this right at the alert to be able to catch this one. But let's position size this. So we have our position size calculator. And
which will be available for everyone in the next week or so. We're still working on getting that to everyone there.
And we're looking at the New Zealand yen pair. So the calculator, when it comes out, there is going to be a drop-down arrow here. If you have the newer version of Microsoft Excel, Excel 365, you'll be able to have a little drop-down arrow. Right now, I don't have it on this computer. But I'll just go plus that, and I'll go over to New Zealand yen. So we know what currency we're using or what pair we're using. And then we come over here with New Zealand yen. It sees like $9.32 per pip on the standard lot size. This is all valued at a standard lot size. I put $9.32. We have a 40 pip stop on this one. And so 40 pip stop, we're risking 2% of our account, which means if I get a full stop out, I'm going to lose $10 on a $500 account. With that, I can take a 0.03 lot size for that trade. So then I would come up here to my trade window on this pair, and then I would go to the tools. Actually, what you could do is just go up in here. Don't click on these. Click on this little white area up here. And then you would just type in 0.03, and then that's all set. And then if you use one-click trading, which is going to be set up with this tool up here, tool, options, go to where this trade tab is. And if you want one-click trading, you can have this little check mark checked. What that will allow you to do is as soon as you click on either one of these buttons, it will take the trade. you're going to be getting a market order with it, but that's the way you take the trade. The other thing is if you want to get out of the trade over here, you can just click on the X and it'll close out the trade. And that's what's nice about the one-click trading. But just be advised that as soon as you click on those things, it's only going to ask for, it's not going to ask you again if you want it, because it's going to take the trade. And then you click OK, and it's all set. I use right now, mine's positioned at a 0.36 pair, so I'm just going to keep it up there. But that way, this chart is all set for this pair, and I'll go through this calculator with each one of these pairs. Like over the weekend, all I'll do is I'll reset these and make sure that as my account changes, as my account grows. So let's say I go from 500 to, say, I have a really good week, and I have now I have $700 in this account. 2%. You can see our $500. I have a 0.03 lot size. If I increase my account size, now I can go to a 0.04 the next week. And I just change this each week. Or if I have if for some reason the account changes significantly, then I'll maybe make the change midweek. But for the most part, I'm happy with just using this for the week, for target for the week.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So that calculator is going to be made available. Okay. There will be a link to it. I'm just going to go through the messages here that we received for the next little bit.
Yeah. And if you see that,
Matt, we've got Jackie in the room.
Yes, Jackie.
And
Jackie's
you'll see
going to
that
be here
right
for
now.
a little bit.
There's a question for Jackie.
Question for Jackie. Let's have Jackie take off.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring her over. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
All
find
right,
her.
John, we're going to answer you in a second as soon as we get Jackie in here. He took a trade with you, Jackie, yesterday on the US CAD on the sell, and now he's in huge drawdown, and he's not sure if he should hang on to it or what he should do at this point on the 1 hour chart.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I
Hey,
figured
everybody.
Jackie the answer.
Jackie,
Hey,
my
girl.
friend.
Hi.
You see,
Good
Sorry.
morning. Good morning.
The Aussie yen hit our target right here.
Jackie.
Look at that. Oh, Aussie Yen, one of my favorite pairs. I can't be on long, you guys, because I have something else I have to go do in like 15 minutes. But I heard there was a question. What's the question? Because if you're about to ask me about USD CAD, yes, I'm still in there. Yes, my stop loss is about to hit, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah, but Jackie, it doesn't. You know what? At the end of the day, you can have the perfect setup and still lose the trade.
Yes, true.
Right?
Very true. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. You're not, because we get this all the time. Oh, this was a perfect bag setup, and it failed on me.
Yes, that happened this morning, I think, to somebody with GU.
Yeah.
So tell me something about this. You take 100 of these trades, and they're perfect. You're still going to lose 20 to 30 of them.
Yep.
So don't be discouraged. You need the position size properly. If you're losing more of your account than you feel comfortable, if your losses hurt you, that means you're over risking, or you're probably not ready to be going live yet.
Yes,
That's
just
so
not to interrupt, but right now this
Go ahead.
Aussie yen is trying to get through my target. I'm here at 18.7 pips. I'm just going to close it out. I'm not going to fight for another half a pip and have this thing bounce back away from me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take the money and run.
Yeah. No, because you're right at the bottom of that zone, are you?
Yeah, well, it's just, my target was right. You can see it was just bouncing right off
yeah, it's
my
right
target.
there.
And remember, it has to go through the spread in order to get your target filled.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you have a 2-point spread, you're going to be that wick is going to go to it, and it's got to go 2 pips further through that before it actually triggers the.
Did you close your trade, or you hit target?
So what was the question?
Did you hit your target, or did you close it out already?
Well, it hit my target, but I closed it out myself. I saw it's like 19.6, going back to 17. I thought as soon as it got back to 19, I just hit that little X, one-click trading, and I'm out of the trade. This is the one we took earlier. This is one we took earlier this morning. Remember we drew this little wedge up here?
Mine just hit target. Mine hit target.
Yeah.
So let me just ask John quickly. John, did you get the direction on your question so that you have an indication what you'd like to do? Just so we can move on from that.
Right. So Jackie,
Mm.
you holding on? You letting it hit?
Oh, it hit. It hit stop loss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know what I'm about to do?
Ah,
Hop on over to my S&P and wait for my thing on there.
right.
Everybody's waiting on that Euro GBP thing, but
The S&P took a nice big tank overnight.
oh yeah, I was looking for it. You know, I was like, oh, I wanted it to tank. I think I said yesterday, I was like, yeah, y'all, let it tank, because I want to catch it on the up. But if you look at the daily chart, like I used my fib and it already hit, the certain level that I was looking for on for the fib on the daily, and I was like, oh, it's gonna tank, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna happen today or tomorrow, and then it happened today. I was like, dang it, missed it, but that's okay. It's a counter trend, and I don't do counter trend trading, even though I was tempted. So I'll just catch it when it comes back up. But boy, I tell you, that was a beautiful drop. Oh, look at Valdez saying that he hit the week. That's right, Valdez. Good job. But yeah, anyway, I don't like to lose, so I'm in the wrong field anyway.
Oh, you're a sore loser.
I am. I'm totally a sore loser. I'm so competitive. I hate losing. So USD CAD made me mad. And I was like, you know what? This is what I get for trading on a pair I don't even normally trade. Stay in your lane, Jackie.
Yes, stay in the lane. Tell you what. Hey, what's your S&P doing?
Oh, this is Euro GBP.
I just saw
yeah.
that. Yep, Euro
Okay.
GBP. Let's take a look at that.
Oh, we got Euro GBP. Let's go.
Yeah.
Euro
S&P is
GBP,
melting out the sky right now, which is beautiful.
Euro GBP. And Euro GBP, we have 1, 2,
No,
3,
Euro and
4.
Euro Yen up 1.
Oh,
Yen.
sorry.
It's okay.
Euro GBP, Euro GB. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Here we go. We're going to zoom out. It's already zoomed out. 2 zones at the top, 1 zone on the bottom. Looks like we're in a downtrend. Looks like it's right in the zone right here. Oh, let's see. This one, nice big move down. Boy, I'm not sure where we're going to get it. In fact, we're right in a green zone. I don't think we want to take that until it breaks through the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not.
That's a pretty strong move down. That's for sure.
Al, is that an overall downtrend on the M15? That's what you said?
Well, that's what I've got. If I zoom out, let's see as far as I can go.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
as far.
There we go. That's better.
Wow. Super
Yeah.
1, 2,
downtrend.
3, 4,
Game
5.
over there.
And we have but you can see, boy, it's really taken. Let me go into higher. I would just take a look and see where this is on a higher time frame.
I was just about to ask you if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that green zone's going to disappear pretty quick time.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might too, but where's it going to go is the question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was kind of hoping it was one of the other strategies that was getting ready to appear.
where the bottom is. Okay, here's where the bottom is. So on this one. This is on now. I want to keep it. Now I'm on a daily chart here in order to find out where the bottom of this thing is, and it's starting to break through this, and this would be the target. This is a higher time frame. This thing could be a nice little short here.
Nice.
Let's go back. Let's take a look at our. We know. Okay. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark this. Oh, I'm going to take this. I want to know where this zone is right here, so I'm going to mark that. Because it's probably not going to show up on my.
Oh yeah, you can zoom out one more time, but we're on daily, right? So
I'm going to come back to my 15-minute chart here. Let's take a look at this. It's got to get through this zone right here. Let me see, what pair is this? Euro British. Let me put it on my other.
Man, there's like no man's land after that zone.
Yeah, let's see where Euro British. Euro British. Here we go.
You know what that means, right? It could just keep on going down.
That's awesome.
Right.
Kind of needed to do that because we're in EA right now still.
There we go. Here's a Euro British. Let me take a look at this thing. So we're going to go to a daily chart. We're going to look and see where the bottom is. And I'm coming over here. Here's on a daily chart. This is just a strong daily range right here. Came out of this zone. Let's back here a little bit further. I mentioned something earlier today about the wicks of the charts to the left. And we're just going to come over here. And I'm going to move this over until I come into one of these other candles over here. And you see right now, I came from the, I started from the low here, I came right over here, and I ran into some wicks right here. So right now I'm looking at, here is going to be a range that we're going to be paying attention to. Now I come back to our more of our local time frame and see what this thing looks like on this. And you see we had a little bit of a bounce already. It came back down to, it didn't like this level right here. Let me get my some other markers on here, 15-minute. I'll bet this is right out of zone. Yep, it is right there. How about that? Okay. And we're going to check, there's a red, there's a blue. I'll mark this area right here. This will be a target zone. I'll make this a green one to get this out so I can see where this one is. This is the target zone. These are institutional levels that we're looking, that I'm marking off here.
Yeah, we just got a nice, so our EA hit take profit as well, Mario. Fantastic. Great to hear, you know.
And so we're trying to analyze how far down this, right? Because we knew there was a zone. Let me see where the zone was on this. This was at, where's the price on this? I usually try and find out where these zones are. I'm going to mark that. And that's at, was that 68.22? Pull this back over. We're going to look 88.22. So we have 88.22 is where the zone is right here. I'll go on to a lower time frame chart.
So
I want to see where the levels are.
yeah, see.
We have a nice little trend. This thing had a lot of hits right in here. This came down. You're gonna have a little bit of a zone on this. Let me go to the left and see where this is. I have to go over several days, it looks like. It hasn't hit this level. Where the level is right now, it hasn't hit since last May. That's significant. That's a long time ago in chart world. I think it's got room to the downside still. If it can break through this, area right here, if it can break through this red line, it's got all the way down to probably 87.62 to go to the downside. I think this is probably a pretty good short trade.
All right, Jackie, thank
but
you.
It needs to get through this green zone.
Jackie, thank you so much for popping in, and we'll talk sooner than later, okay? You think you'll be on tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be on at 9, probably for that first hour, and then I got other stuff to do. But I will. So I will see you guys, and I'm gonna go make up my trade today.
See you later, Jackie.
Okay, Jackie.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Be well.
All right.
Actually, we have an interesting question here in the Q&A from Chase. He says he notices that we're not looking at news, for example. Actually, that wasn't the question, but now that I've started reading it, I might as well finish it. He said, for example, there's Euro news this morning that would have kept Nate out of Euro pairs, but we're trading them. Do we have a different approach?
Just let me go check everything here.
On the Euro pairs today.
Yeah, we got, let me see here.
Oh, the other question was Chase's as well, which is earlier. Okay, that's an honest mistake.
Are we the 27th today?
Today is the 27th. Yep.
Yeah, so we had at 8:30, we had durable goods, US, a bunch of US news. And now we've got some Euro news. I'm using myfxbook.com to check the news. So there's a lot of FOMC press conference. It's listed all as high. It's like there's a lot of actual news today. Let me check what else there is. Other than that,
It's the only news I normally use is just the Forex Factory news is pretty much what I go by.
yeah, let me match them two up just because this is not the first time I've had this happen where different websites have different news.
Let's see.
Yeah, Roberto is saying that the euro is really moving volatile. So he was wondering whether news had anything to do with that as well.
I'm trying to see
what's,
how this Euro British is looking here.
let's go check this out. Forex Factory. Because I generally don't play around with the red folder news. I don't like the unknowns of it, and I don't pay very much attention to the fundamentals of the Forex market. And because I do that, I don't mess around with red folder news. So, yeah. So, 10:30 crude oil, FOMC, the US dollar at 2:00 has in the next couple 4 hours or so from now, we're going to have the federal funds rate. It's listed as orange, and then you got a FOMC press conference, which has the potential to send the markets in a direction. So, just a sec here. What is the red or green ribbon that follows the candles? So that's first off, there is, this is as simple as it gets for trading the Forex, but there is a learning curve, and it's really, really important that people go through the training videos, the first few videos for AIRO, and have an understanding of what AIRO actually is, how it works. Not every little detail about AIRO, but at least know why there is a red zone there or why there is a green zone. And then start demo trading. Demo trading to observe, not demo trading to win. Okay? Because you first need to understand what's going on by observing before you can go, oh, give me just a minute. We just had some Forex royalty come in here. Hold on.
You can see also this Euro British, that green zone just went away. So that does make this a valid short trade.
Oh, that green zone did go away, didn't it, Al?
Yeah, it did.
All right. Well, I'm jumping in that one then. Let me get our Forex royalty in here. My dear friend. Haven't known her for a very long time, but you know, sometimes you meet people and you don't need to spend a lot of time with them to really connect with them. And this one has almost become one of my new favorite people.
Hey, now.
Hey, I said new favorite people. New favorite people.
We're in the old people fund.
Oh, come on. I'm
You
not
know
picking
we love
any-
you, Matt.
88,
I know.
04. So basically, I've got this at 88.48 is the entry, 88.04, 88.24, 88.20. I see euro. 88.24 was the entry. 88.20, called 88.26. So the target is going to be 88.06. It's 0.8806. That's going to be the target, and then the stop will be. Where's my stop go? I have to change this one again too. Okay. So we're going to show that. Someone was asking about changing the colors on this. Just left click, come over to the common tab, and you can do a little drop down. I want to change it to this to the gold or orange rather. And I'll put as a description in, calling this going to be my stop. And I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to set the parameter, and we're going to go with 0.8866, I believe is what the 40 pip stop would be right there, and we're done.
You've actually had a couple of questions, Al, about various objects on your chart, such as how did you put the yellow line at the beginning of the money zone? Can you show again how you set the color line?
Yeah, the
like
line at the money zone is the vertical line. Let's come over here with your toolbar. Click on that vertical line, and then you have a little cursor there. You just place it where you want it. And then if you left click twice, you'll see these little dots come up. That gives you a lot of chance to edit it. If you left click twice and then you right click, the object list will come up, or the vertical line properties will come up. You can find it either one of those places. Since it's already here, I'm going to click on the vertical properties, and then I'm going to just type in chart time minus 7 hours. And that's my description of it. And I'm going to click OK. And then when I put my cursor over it, there'll be a little pop-up that'll come up, and you can see a little pop-up that says chart time 7 hours, minus 7 hours. And I just know that on my chart, if I come over here to see what the time is, put right over top of the current candle, it says 1700. Well, that's basically 10 o'clock my time. I look at, and so I know that my time is 7 hours less than what the chart time is. So I know that if we want the money zone, I know that whatever that is, I subtract 7 hours. I know that that's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning for me. That's how that works. Hopefully that answers the question.
So we got another question here, and we want to keep this focused on AIRO specifically. And the only reason I'm going to talk about this is because it could be very problematic for an individual to run two systems on the same account. Now, someone's saying that they're running Alexander on 3 pairs on the 3K account. Can I use my same MetaTrader account to also run AIRO on this? And what do you suggest additional pairs to run safely? Do I have to sit on my computer all day? Quick thing. So if you're using an expert advisor like Einstein, Variable, Gearbox, you don't want to be running any other system on it. You don't want to be running whatsoever. So if you're running AIRO, my suggestion, okay, you can do it if you want, but my suggestion is to have 2 separate accounts. You have an AIRO account, okay, not running on the same MetaTrader 4, okay, separate MetaTrader 4. You got one that's running AIRO and one that's running your expert advisor. To mix up the 2 systems, you're looking for trouble. And that's as far as I will go from that perspective of using different systems on one MetaTrader 4 account. Okay, I hope that answers your question accordingly. Coach Mo, are you there, my friend?
Yeah, she's in the room. But
I don't know if her audio is working or.
yeah, she looks like she's muted.
She's probably chasing that S&P trade.
could be. I don't know if she does S&P. I know she does. Is it US 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here real quick. All right, we got a question here. I'm new to AIRO, but has all right, perfect. Give me a sec here. Mr. Nate, the developer, the big dog. Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, brother. Great to have you here, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, great to be here. I see you got a big panel already, though.
We do now. We do now. Quick question for you, Nate. I know you're not on your charts and nothing, but I got a couple lingering questions that came up the other day, and I didn't have I don't think I had the right an answer that would fulfill everyone. So, do you think you could help me answer just a couple of these quick ones?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we had a question, and just want to get to the downside of this. What determines the width of the support and resistance lines? Like, some of them are skinny, some of them are wide. So is it the wider? Does it mean it's a stronger zone? Or is that just based on some other factors, some secret sauce?
So the width is determined by price. So as I tell you all the time, do not get caught up in the minute details. If there's a zone there, you don't trade into it. Simple as that. But the price is what dictates the size of the zone. Typically, you'll notice that larger zones are due to larger wicks that are produced by brokers. And so that's what determines the actual width. Do they mean that they're stronger? No. A skinnier zone can be stronger than a wider zone. It's all based on the number of touches. So as I tell people, again, do not trade into a zone. So keep it at that, whether it's a big zone, a skinny zone, doesn't really matter. Just do not trade into the zone.
Awesome. Thank you. I got another question that came up. So it was stated that you're not going to get more than 2 arrows in the same trend direction, right? Like, you can't have 3 arrows in the same direction. It's going to be a maximum of 2. Is that?
So before there's a pullback, if price is trending downward, you can have 2 consecutive arrows, down arrows. If there's a nice strong trend. Now, if price continues to trend downward without no pullback, then you will not have another arrow, which means you need to go down to the minute 5, use strategy number 5, which is multi-time frame trading, where you go to the lower time frame to find another entry. So there's always a pullback on a lower time frame, but it may not be back on the time frame you're looking at. So you go down to a lower time frame to look for a pullback, look for a bounce arrow, go in that same direction.
Perfect. So you're saying go down to the 5 or whatnot. If you're on the 15, you go down to 5 and check, see if there's a trade there.
Correct. Strategy number 5, multi-time frame trading.
Okay.
Go watch that video.
Perfect. Good to know. Next question, my friend. I don't want to take too much time. Just quick things to go over. But a question that came up in one of our groups today for a bag entry: can we take a trade on a down arrow that has an up arrow after the previous bounce?
I talk about this in the strategy video. If you have a bag entry for a sell, and before you get this sell arrow, you receive a up arrow, then when the sell arrow pops up, that negates the sell arrow. So again, watch strategy video number 1. This is talked about quite often, as well as on the call. So the up arrow negates the down arrow, even if it's a sell trend. Same thing if you have two consecutive arrows. If you have two consecutive arrows, then you can take both of them. But if you have a opposite direction arrow in between the two consecutive arrows of the trend, the second arrow you do not take.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Do we have another alert, or we're still in EG here? We had a great trade this morning, boss. We actually got a couple trades going on. We got EA, we got EG. We took take profit on EA already, so it's been a great morning, man. You really put something special together here, and something I've been clarifying with people just to let them know, and let me know if this fits in the philosophy. But you can have a perfect bag setup and the trade still doesn't go your way.
That is correct. The system is not a foolproof system. There is no system, no strategy that will win 100% of the time.
So you take here, Nate. You take 100 trades. You're going to lose what? 30, 20, 30 of them? Depending.
So the beta test team was able to prove that you could win over 80% of the time. So if you're following the rules, you can take 100, and your probability that you'll win 80% or more. So 80 or more of those 100 trades.
Good. So that means that 20 of those trades are losers, and you can't really avoid that. And you're going to take your stop loss on those, right?
So we talked about this last night. Most of the trades you're going to lose with the software, you're going to lose because an opposite zone appears, which means you're going to immediately close out before price hits stop loss. You should very rarely hit stop loss. Maybe 5% of the time. Majority of the time, if you lose a trade, it's because you've manually closed the trade out when the opposite zone appears.
Bingo. That's special right there, guys.
So I'm looking at EA looks great. I see, we had first and second arrow. They both went up to 20 pips. I'm looking at EG. Was that a wedge entry there?
There is actually a wedge there, but we didn't enter on a wedge. No, we just took the arrow down after so there was actually originally a green zone down there. And then the green zone disappeared once price broke it. So I was comfortable taking that trade even after the arrow was already on the way down. So. Yeah, just before you came on the call, there was a zone down there. We've got a lot of questions coming in the chat about performance issues, VPS wise, issues running multiple things. There is a message in the AIRO Bags chat, correct, about how to. Okay. Just a sec here, guys.
Arrows died completely. I will say mine started running a little bit slower here all of a sudden this afternoon or this morning. I'm not sure what caused that.
Mine's the same, a little bit sluggish. It's not too bad though, but some of them are really having a lot of problems that I'm reading in the Q&A and the chat.
It could possibly be the Zoom room too, maybe having some effect on that.
So we talked about this yesterday as well. Last night or early this morning on the London session call about ensuring that everyone has upgraded their VPS by rebooting. Some people think that rebooting means just logging out and logging back in. and HQ is seeing this, that most people have not reset their VPS the correct way, so that they can receive the VPS upgrade. So what I've been doing on my sessions, every session is just showing how to reboot. So if you guys could particularly log into AP and show them in the back office exactly where to actually how to reboot, that'd be great. I know someone in the chat thought all they had to do was just log in and log out, and they kept saying that's what they've been doing. Someone showed them the reboot VPS button with like a little picture. They did that, and it immediately fixed everything for them. So I'm going to probably speak with the owners about potentially putting out a maintenance warning for this weekend to let everybody know that between a certain time frame on Saturday, we will be manually rebooting VPSs to ensure everyone's VPS is rebooted, so that they can receive the VPS upgrade, which is the added memory needed to help out with the speed of the VPS. And then when you add AIRO v3 on top of that, you have the best of the world. You have the best of the best at that point. You have the upgraded VPS, and the AIRO v3 is optimized so that it runs less, more efficiently, so it doesn't lag down the VPS. I was running v3 all last week. The last couple of weeks, people have been having significant increases in their performance, and those who haven't is nearly just been the ones that have not upgraded to VPS. So if you can show everybody, I think that'd be great. Yeah. And then second, like I say, we may need to force everybody to upgrade their VPS. The reason why we didn't force it the first time is because in the past, forcing upgrades affected performance on some of the EAs and their performance on the trades they were in. So they did not want to make any hasty moves that might mess any trades up and cause unnecessary drawdown. So that's why they gave everybody opportunity, but people are not knowing how to do so. So I'll probably make a video as well and post it in the group over and over, as well as continue to show on the call how to do so.
Yeah. So right now we've got your screen up here. Is that that's Al, right?
That's mine. That's me. Yep.
You see that big reboot button in orange at the top of your screen? That's all you got to do. And then there's another button too. So there's also Windows Update. So just like anything, you have to update your systems, right? Don't
just left click on that, and then just left click on that, and then just check for your update. You can check for updates, and you'll see that actually you can see the last time I updated this thing was a couple of days ago, and I'll redo it again this weekend. I usually try and do it each weekend. You'll see it's checking for updates right now, and you'll probably see there's going to be one that's going to pop up. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'll probably I'll catch that this weekend. You'll just see it takes a few minutes, and then when if this clock down here says October of last year, it's probably going to take, it could take you as long as 30 minutes for the updates to go through, and you'll find out that will help speed things up quite a bit. And then after I get done updating it, then I would hit the reboot button to reboot the VPS, and then just reload your charts over here.
In the Q&A, we have Paresh saying that some of the guys outside of Auvoria, friends of his, traders, I suppose, are having issues as well on different platforms. So they're thinking it has something to do with the volatility, that the platforms can't handle them properly, what's going on right now in the market. So I'm not sure how valid that would be, but it's a thought.
All I know is you need to make sure your tools are up to date and running, and that your VPS is updated and whatnot. I don't know about other platforms or whatever, but if we do our due diligence, update our VPS, reboot it, do the Windows updates, then your system's going to be running pretty good. Let's put it that way. Now, we got a really good question, and I've been holding off on this one for a while.
Hey, real quick, Matt, I want to say as well, there's another reboot button in the back office under Switch Tools. that is another reboot button that is recommended by the tech team to actually utilize, the one in the back office.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. I'll see if I can find it here for you real quick, so everybody can see what they're talking about.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, Al, I've got one big question for Mr. Williams here. We got now someone made a notice that I'm not checking for correlation before entering, and that you always do that, Nate, before you enter a trade. Is that something that we should be doing on every trade, is to ensure correlation, or is that just another verification that you do prior to?
For me, correlation on the pound pairs, the GBP pairs, is something that I am aware of because I've traded the pound pairs for so long. Pretty much the majority of my Forex trading career is revolved around pound pairs. So it's just something I do to ensure, give me the added confirmation on whether to take a trade or not take a trade. It has helped me out immensely, and it has kept me from losing trades as well. So when trading the pound pairs, again, it's just an added level of confirmation. When as you become a more experienced trader, you pick up on other aspects of trading, whether it be a different type of indicator that you may like, or price action, whatever the case may be. You're going to find that other confirmations make you feel more comfortable taking the trade or not taking the trade. So for me, correlation matters with the pound pairs, except for GJ and GN. Those two, they do what they want to do. So I don't necessarily care about correlation as much with those two, but I still take it into an account.
Sounds good. Robin had a great question, and you also sent me a message, Nate, that it wasn't actually a valid bounce on EG because that zone showed up, and then that green zone was at the bottom, and then there was the arrow before that, but then it never came and bounced off the red zone. So officially, there was no bounce arrow go. But I still took the trade. I still took the trade, though.
Yeah, if you feel you're an experienced trader. So again, the rules that are in place, guys, are there for beginners. As you become more experienced, you can break some of those rules. As you become more experienced trader and see things. For example, as you guys may see, Jackie and Monique, when they trade with the fibs, they take trades through the zones. That's because they feel comfortable that they know what price is going to go based on their skill set. They've mastered trading the indices. They've mastered trading Forex pairs, gold. All right. There are people that have mastered trading cryptocurrency, and they're willing to break some of the rules because they understand how to trade, and they just use AIRO as an additional confirmation. So in the beginning, follow the rules, and then as you become a more experienced trader, you can start to break some of those rules or go against them because you have a better understanding of how to trade the markets. AIRO is not a system where you have to only follow the rules to get the results. There are people that are winning without following the rules because they understand how to trade, and then they just use AIRO as an added confirmation, for their style of trading.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I know I have a couple different things that I do, and I use kind of these AIRO alerts as hey, go look, you're potentially going to get a breakout. There's a good trade entry potentially, and it's been super good. But for the sake of this, we're sticking as close to the rules as we can to ensure everyone's on the same page, because you don't want to start deviating from the plan if you don't have the foundation in yet, right? If you don't have the foundation of strategy one, you're going to look to have your butt handed to you if you start jumping all around the place.
And I encourage everybody, as Nathan, I'm sure will agree, is that keep going over and over those strategies in the back office and get us familiar with them. And then as you pick a strategy a week and then start looking for that strategy to occur on the charts and then follow and see how it works. And then eventually you'll get comfortable saying, okay, you will see the strategy happen. And you say, okay, I can take it because I understand strategy 2 or 3 or 5 or 8 or whatever.
Okay.
And then just gradually what you're doing is you're putting more tools in your toolbox to be able to have more options about which trades to take or which ones to stay away from.
It's good stuff, Al. So if I was talking about something here, let's take a look at some more alerts here. We got some alerts. We got
silver and gold.
There's a gold.
Huh?
There's a
Silver and gold.
You got silver, gold. You got. Did we look at Swiss yen and GU?
I think we did look at the Swiss yen. I don't think that was a trade. I think it was the wrong direction. Let me double check that.
It's not a trade.
So let's look at the gold trade. I don't generally trade gold on this. And we look in this.
Oof.
zooming out. And we have lots of red. We have an up arrow. No trade at all right there.
Now, if we get an arrow in the other direction, we might be looking at something pretty powerful right here, guys.
Right. But right now we're in a downtrend. And I said, and what I've been doing, Nate, is that I mark it when I see where it's a downtrend. I'm put a little arrow, and if for some reason that zone goes away and the arrow is still there, I know that that downtrend is starting to get penetrated. It still might be in a downtrend, but you'll know that there was a zone here that I know that if it's there now and if it's come back a couple hours and it's gone, then I'll know that it's been penetrated, that there was a zone there that was penetrated. So that's a little tool that I've been showing people in here to just give a little bit better quick eye on what the direction is as we scale in here.
That's pretty handy right there.
Yeah, he caught me off guard one day. I was like, "How did you find out the trend already? You didn't even zoom out." He was like, "Oh, well, I already had an arrow there to tell me that we were going down." So, yeah, that made me smile.
And so this is no trade. We have up arrow, downtrend, red zone, not even a consideration. Move on to the next one.
Yeah. But a down arrow would be beautiful here, guys. That would
that would be a good one to get. Now with this one, if you have a bounce, a down arrow, and a go, then we have lots of room to the downside because I don't see any zones at all down below. And if you measure that out, if let's say you get an arrow, say at this level, and all you're looking for is $5 move, if you get into 38, you can go down to 33. And you've got your trade in.
Now,
hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Mo.
Yay! Woo!
We thought you were awfully quiet.
I'm like, why isn't my mic working?
I missed you.
I love you. Oh! All right, guys. I wanted to chime in on that because my peekaboo technique is actually working here. So I know that right now someone mentioned this could potentially be in bank induction, and no, that's incorrect because that arrow is not going into the candlestick that goes into the zone, right? So that's not a valid bank induction right there. And if you do my peekaboo technique, people, and you drop down to M1, you'll clearly see that it's playing in the zone. Even it's playing in the zone on M5, right? But I don't see a lot of movement to the downside. I see a lot of movement to the upside if you go to M1. And I always peek down at lower time frames just to see what the crowd is doing. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah. Well, in some of my other trading, yes, I'm always on a lower time frame.
Yeah. So if you're trading on the M5, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's even better because there's a stronger trend that's happening there. But if you peek down, if you're on the M5 and you're thinking that this is an induction, a bank induction, okay, you can literally go down to M1 and see that it's not, because that candle, well, first of all, on the M5, it wasn't a candle that went into the zone and then gave you the up arrow. Okay, that's number one clue. But number two is if you're on the M1, you can clearly see it's breaking through that resistance level. So that's, I've gotten a lot of personal DMs about that. And Nate, this is what I was telling you I was going to show you. This is my little peekaboo technique. I'll drop down at M1 and I'll see if any zones have popped up, because you can actually be in a valid bounce arrow go trade, and a zone, we're just lucky that that zone is here on both time frames, but a zone could actually pop up in one and make your trade go in the all, like completely in the opposite direction. So I always take a peek at M1, even if I'm not scalping M1. I always take a peek at it just to see, you know, what's going on overall. Okay, love you.
That's great.
Yeah, buddy.
Do you find that you have some challenges with the zones of painting improperly when you're switching time frames?
So no, it's not painted improperly. Nathan is just a freaking genius. Okay, so what has happened is in every single time zone, there's what it was end up happening is it's showing you what it's doing in that particular time zone. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Yep. And that's the reason why I say, please, 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 please use my peekaboo technique. Like if you're going to trade on the M15, E pairs and G pairs, and you get a valid bounce arrow go, I would go take a peek at M5 and M1 just to see what it's doing. If it's reversing, you can get a sniper entry in that trade. Okay. If it's reversing, it's going the opposite direction, you wait until it stops going the opposite direction, and then you take that bounce arrow go trade. That's actually how I've helped people not, burn their accounts. And then plus, if you're taking a peek at M5 and M1, you can see if any other zones have popped up in the opposite direction of that trade that you're trying to get into, right? Because that could actually stop you out too. Nathan's is just a freaking genius. That's just all there is to it. So on the low time frames, it's going to show you a better, clear picture of where that trend is going to go. So I wouldn't necessarily, just because you got the arrow, completely go in and be like, oh, bounce arrow go, boom, I'm in the trade. Because there's been times I've been on live trading calls and people will call it trades, and I hold off for a couple of minutes because I look at M1 and M5 to see what's going on, and I'll see, oh, it's reversing. So I'm like, okay, it's reversing. And then I make sure that it stays, like if I'm going to buy, and it was a buy arrow, I wait until it hits that moving average and then I go in. Or I wait until those first couple candles draw back down and then I go in. That's what I call a sniper entry. Nathan's just making our lives as traders so much easier. That's all. The software is just so much more powerful. Even on V3, I'm noticing, the zones are painted a lot quicker. They're a lot more valid. So you can literally see, price action moving and where it's going to take you, but in the higher time frames, it'll show you, hey, this is the overall trend and this is what you really need to be looking for, which is fantastic. So please use my peekaboo technique. I've got so many DMs from people who said that it, saved them from losing their account or losing a trade,
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really
Thanks, Corey.
interesting.
Love you, Corey.
So I just want to make sure people are not mistaking this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's not saying go on and scan the 1 minute. Okay. She's saying to confirm your trade with the 1 minute.
Yep.
Really different. You go on the 1 minute and you think you're going to get bag entries. You're going to really hurt yourself.
You possibly could get back entries on M1, but guys, the higher time frames confirm a longer trend direction. Did you guys hear me on that? A longer trend direction. So, and I even, experienced this today because I had NAS 100 on the H1. I always put my my indices on higher time frames just to see what they're going to overall do. And when I get that bounce arrow go, I love it. Because it gives me confluence that on the higher time frames, on the lower time frames, it's going to start switching gears. And that's where I go do, again, my peekaboo technique. What is it doing on every other time frame? And on every other time frame, it was actually oversold, overbought. So it was bound to go down. And then when the news opened, it took a plummet, So it's important to know, first of all, get in there and use Nathan's bounce or go strategy number 1. I'm not going to say that again. Actually, I'm gonna say it a gazillion times. Like,
yeah, that's what we've been preaching, man.
Bounce arrow go, because it straight up is the bag. Okay, no matter what me and Jackie do, as I'm a scalper on indices. She's a swing trader on indices for the most part. She does some scalping too, but we live and breathe the bounce arrow go. Okay, even though we use Fibonacci and we understand how to take, counter trade trends and, where to go on the fib and everything like that. We understand all of that. But at the end of the day, we're still bounce arrow and going it every single day, because that's where the money's at. People don't try to create your own system, because Nathan is brilliant. He created a system to make sure that we all win in this game. Okay, that we win more than we lose, and it will help you. I promise. But you got to master that one strategy to make sure that no matter, I seen somebody, talking about, oh, I see Al has a whole bunch of, different pairs on his screen. Well, he does, because once you understand and you can master bounce arrow go on pretty much anything you trade at this point, will be profitable, more profitable using arrow than anything else. Guys, my trading literally went from 0 to hero with arrow. Okay. I was, doing a few $100s, here and there, but now I can pull out of the markets thousands. Okay. I'm not going to go into how much, but I can pull it out thousands. When you master the back strategy 1, there's no stopping you, because anything on top of that, like the Fibonacci, it's just going to make you a hero. It's just going to literally give you another gold medal. That's all. Okay. So I love all of this. I mean, please do not try to scalp E pairs and G pairs on M1. You might win, you might lose, but it's stronger on the higher time frames, in my opinion.
That's fantastic. We got another question, guys, and I'm going to address this one more time, and then I'll leave it there. It is not in your best interest to run 2 different systems on one MetaTrader 4 platform. If you are running say Gearbox, and you're running AIRO, and you're running something else, don't run AIRO on the same MetaTrader 4 account as one of those other products. Okay, there's no guarantee that it may not interfere with the system itself. So we can't support that. We can't emphasize it anymore. If you want to, then do it. But there's no precedent for running things like that. Okay.
Hey Matt, do you mind me kind of like interjecting my thoughts? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm running Gearbox and I'm running AIRO, and one of the things that Tyler says on Gearbox is he says to shut down your market watch, shut down your navigator, shut down your terminal. Yep. Because it just takes extra room, right? So I really haven't, since I've been running both softwares, I haven't had the problems that you guys are talking about. If anything, what I'm finding is that brokers, are causing more of the problem than anything. Like I think someone had mentioned, I didn't, I kind of briefly heard it, that other traders on other platforms are experiencing some of the same hiccups, with their systems freezing. I honestly think it might be a broker issue. So if you guys are having problems, I mean, I've been running Gearbox and AIRO on my system, and prior to running both softwares, I was still having problems with my trades freezing on AIRO, and I don't think it was at all AIRO at all, or the VPS, because when I was in my MT4, we were having some issues, and that's like a third party platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was more of it might be on the side. I'm going to err on the side of it being the broker issue versus anything. So be careful on what broker you guys do choose, because some of those B rated brokers or whatever, they'll freeze the system and you be stuck in a trade, and they're going against. They try to make sure you don't win. So that's what I've seen. I could be completely wrong, but I would before you guys open up to test both softwares, or if you're running 2 or 3 softwares,
I think we
lost her.
I think we lost you, Mo. You cut out pretty heavily. Before we lost you at before you start.
Do you hear me?
Still cutting out. Let's see if we can get her back. We'll see if we can.
Here's the Eurocad is what we had. This was the last.
Oh, we just got another alert, right? Eurocad.
Eurocad, and I've got this drawn out here. And here's the situation with this one. If you look at, we're really in an uptrend. So we have an uptrend with a down arrow. It's bouncing off the zone, no trade. But what I did was I projected that if we get another Eurocad alert, there's a good chance what we could do is we could be getting a bounce arrow go up to this zone. So what I did was in preparation for that, if we get another alert, we won't get another arrow till the price comes down. But you can see right now the price is all the way up here. We're not going to get an arrow yet, or we may not get an arrow yet. But if we do, I've got if I get an entry somewhere at this line or below, and I've got my 20 pip target set up. I got 20 pips between for room here. Here's my stop. Now, if we get a bounce arrow go, and I can get an entry somewhere within the blue line or below, I can take that trade because I've got 20 pips. I've got a good entry, and you probably won't get it till this moving average comes down a little bit more. So we get the go. And if we do get it, if it comes up and gives us the arrow, you may get just enough of a pullback to be able to get in to still get your 20 pips. But right now we are in an uptrend, so we don't want to be taking a down arrow. Plus, you have the zone right here, and we did have some pretty good penetration up into this area. So there's a good chance that if it does come up, you'll be able to get that 20 pip target out of that.
All right, so we're getting a whole bunch of comments about specific brokers and whatnot. The first thing I recommend you guys to do is after this call or whenever, or even just reboot your VPS and then do the VPS updates just after markets closed or whatnot, okay? And then reload all your charts, make sure everything's up and running properly, and then come back and tell me you still have problems. Okay. Send me a message in Telegram. How about that? And then we'll start updating that.
A lot of you have individual groups that you belong to. Reach out to your groups in your within your own groups and your uplines and downlines, and you can have those discussions in those private groups. We can't do it on this in this platform, this arena.
Yeah, there's that's a lot here. Hold on. I'm gonna go look at something. You keep on flying for a bit there, Al.
Okay.
So Al, I'm gonna chime in.
Yeah.
I'm back. Ooh,
There you are, Mo. Top of the day.
Or it could be your internet connection in your home. I'm gonna call the internet company after this call. So yeah, I was gonna say also, guys, follow Tyler's advice and shut down your market watch and your navigator. If you have to have the terminal open, that's fine. See if that also improves, because everything that's open on your MT4 will cause more lag and take up some of that RAM on your VPS. Okay. So that's important. Also, if you guys, all the panelists, if you guys see, Bob actually talked about CNBC, just reported that brokers are having some issues. Schwab, Robinhood, TD.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of them are having issues due to volume. So people are catching wind that this is where to be, my friend, especially when they get AIRO, it's game over.
So one thing to note, though, these guys are all trading stocks. Okay.
Mhm.
This is stocks, different world, different liquidity providers. So I don't see a direct correlation between.
You know how I do, Matt? I'm gonna interrupt. The reason why I do see a correlation is because what you've seen just in the social media space. Okay, there are tons of people talking about Forex right now. And
that's true.
I can't tell you how many times when I walking out and about and or at a coffee shop and just trading and stuff like that, I'll be approached and they're like, "Hey, just curious, are you trading Forex? Are you trading stocks? And they're really curious. I've had so many friends and family literally come to AIRO just because of that, because there's so much buzz on social media. I mean, Matt, people are stuck at home. They're stuck at home, and a lot of people are losing their jobs, my friend. So I do see a correlation. People are jumping into an industry where they see that there's liquidity, and they see that there's coaches that are amazing like you, Al, Nathan, Jackie. I mean, the list keeps going on and on, right? Where they're like, man, if I could just hone in on a new craft and a new skill, and they see the hope. And so I do see a correlation, even though those are stock brokers. What I've seen is a huge influx of Forex traders coming into the market. And I've also read that in some of the news articles that I stay up to date with.
We know there's another 8,000 people lost their jobs yesterday at the stroke of a pen.
Woo!
And and there are people that are going to be looking to try and pay their mortgages, try and put food on their tables. And now, and as you said, as people are been stuck at home for the last almost a year now, and they're looking for alternatives. There's 100,000 restaurants that will never open up, and these people are looking for a place to be able to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. And that's one of my goals in this room, is to help people not only make their $1 million, but also to get back up on your feet, to be able to pay your electric bill or to feed your family as they lose their jobs and try to figure out what's next to do.
Well, this morning, Coach Mo, you're right on point. And this morning I went to bring my car to the mechanic. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm leaving it there over day. So I called the Uber, and it's like 6:30 in the morning. The Uber comes up and he looks at me, and I took my mask off. I smiled real big. He's like, "Man, you must be on crack or something. Why are you so happy?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm making money just while I'm taking this Uber drive."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you talking about?" "I'm a day trader." And then I pulled up the AIRO session as I was on my way back, and he's like, "What's this?" Like, it's Forex, man. That's just what we trade. We trade the Forex. We got a great community of people, and you don't need to be the most intelligent person on the block.
Absolutely.
We got it simplified to a way that the vast majority of people can succeed with the Forex if they put in the right effort. And his eyes just lit up. Wow. And I've got a call with him later this evening after he's done work, but he's pushing Uber in the morning, and then he's working a full-time job in the afternoon. And he's like, "Matt, I just need to get on with what you guys are doing. I don't care how long it takes me, but if this really works like you say it does, then we're on board." So I see the huge future of what we have here, and people are hungry like never before. And this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science.
No, but they're in the right place at the right time with the right people and the right company and the right softwares. Like, I can't stress that enough. Folks, this is not a game.
We might have a trade.
It's not a game. This is your life, and you trade like this is your life. Okay. So I seen even a comment here of someone being some crazy drawdown. Look, set your SLs, set your stop losses. You don't have a stop loss set, and you're sitting out here gambling. What do we know if you're sitting at the gambling table, right? You go walk into a casino, everybody knows at the end of the day, the house what?
The house wins.
Okay, so the house wins. We're just trying to beat them at their own game. We're trying to get up just enough to walk away. Don't be greedy in these markets, folks. Don't be greedy. Because you'll see a setup. And like I said, if you didn't use my peekaboo technique, Muhammad, go drop down to those lower time frames and see what was really going on. And you jumped in hopeful, wishing that something would happen. Don't hope. There's enough confluence here on your screen that will give you exactly what you're looking for. That bounce or go is no joke. All right? It's no joke. As so long as you are following the rules, it will cause you to be more profitable more times than losses. So that's where I have to chime in, folks. Y'all have to use a stop loss. I've been getting, messages in my DMs. So should I get out? I'm in drawdown. Well, hold up a second. Did you set a stop loss?
Yeah, no, there you
Did
go.
you set a stop loss? Did you protect your home?
Well, did you protect your home? Did you do your proper position sizing? Are you over risking for your size of account? If you take a loss, is it gonna hurt you? Your losses should not discourage you or hurt you, because you're not going to win 100% of the trades you take. You're going to lose 20% about at minimum, and if you're brand new, don't expect to win 80% of the trades you take, even if they're perfect, because there's a lot to this. There's the mindset. How far are you going to allow the trade to go? Are you just going to set a 20 pip take profit and 40 pip stop loss? Or are you going to set a 40 pip take profit? Because there's a different thing that you see. Those guidelines are there for the new person to come in and start getting consistently profitable. It's consistency that's going to make you your fortune. It's not hitting the ball out of the park once and getting everyone home. It's consistency, putting people on base. That's what you need to do every day. And let's talk about Swiss yen before we miss it, okay? This looks good.
Let's look at it.
Yep, here's all set. I already had this preset. I had my 20 pip range from wherever my target went, and we had a bounce arrow. We had to go. We have 20 pips to the upside. We're in an uptrend. I can take this trade.
You see how simple that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's one of the things, Matt. Let's look at that for a second. That first arrow was a valid bag entry. However, that's why I tell you guys to go look at the lower time frames just to see if it's going to retrace a bit. And it did just that. It retraced back down to the support level, right? So had you guys held out, you still would have been able to get into this trade, but just at a later time. That's all. And therefore, you would have already been in some gangster profit.
Now, there's a slight little zone right here on a 1 minute chart, but if there's enough pressure, it should take that away. Let me just see something here. Swiss.
We talking about Swiss yen? I've already been in that trade for a while.
It's interesting because I was in that too, and I thought, well, I didn't even see that I was in that, but obviously we got in once before, and then we got in again. So
right, because Nate said the following. He said, if you get another arrow in that direction, then you can potentially take it. So to me, I'm in there twice, but I'm position sizing accordingly, right?
Right, and really the two separate trades, even though they may be. Mine are pretty close to the same target, but I don't expect this zone to hold here right now.
I'll see.
Can you actually get closer into your screen? Because you are on the minute one, and I wanted to show something.
Zoom it in a bit more.
And there is strength to the Swiss.
Remember you have that goofy screen that doesn't show. Okay.
Hey, how about yours, Mo? Maybe are you able to share your screen? Maybe.
Yeah, let me see if I can get, what is it? I just need to get that chart up.
What are you doing calling my screen goofy?
I'm sorry.
You good.
You're
good. Let's see here. Let me open this up. Chart window.
All right.
Share.
Let's go through these questions real quick while you guys sort that out.
And there is significant strength on the Swiss strength right now compared to the other currencies. Just so you know.
Whoop, whoop. That's always good.
And see, here's the thing that you don't have to take trades that don't fit the rules. Just wait till there's enough trades coming down the road that you can that'll fit the rules. You'll get one that's going to fit those rules.
Mm-hmm.
You see on the higher time frame, that zone wasn't even there. Look at this thing taking off here.
Hey, here we go, guys.
It's going
Buckle.
to the moon.
Don't chase
buckle
it.
up,
Don't
eh?
chase it. Don't chase it. If you're not in, don't chase it
No.
right now.
No, yeah, don't run after this one. This is a knife that if you try to catch, you're gonna get sliced. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you need to know what you're doing.
Don't chase trades.
No, it's gonna come back and bite you.
Golly. Yeah.
Because
Don't do that.
listen, the reason you don't want to enter the trade now is because now you need to extend your stop loss. And your position size is going to be thrown off because if you enter here, you need to cover that bottom.
And your target's going to be up in the red zone.
You now need to have a 60 pip stop loss to even get into this thing. And now your 2% risk is in 60 pips, which means if it goes 30 pips, you're only making 1%, and it has to go 30 pips for you to make that 1%. So that changes the whole game. So don't chase trades. You saw how many trades we got in. I've had 6 trades already this morning, and so far they're all green. Does it mean that this one may not go green? Who knows?
Right.
There's lots of trades. There's no last trade to the Forex. So there's no FOMO. There's none of that, guys.
Right. Okay, Al, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I can actually share mine too, hon.
But you have to apologize to my screen for saying it was a weird screen.
Oh, I apologize, Al. I apologize. Okay.
My screen accepts your apology. Go ahead,
you. You know you're the bomb.com. What you talking?
You said I had a weird
All right.
screen.
So, did I share mine? I didn't even share mine. I'm like all on my screen, like about to start talking.
No, you're not sharing yet.
I know. I'm going to do that right now. Okay. You can see this beauty queen, right? So I'm going to mark this chart so you know exactly what I was talking about on my peekaboo technique.
Oh, look at this thing. Look at this thing.
You can see. Okay.
But you still got in the same place, even though you're on a lower time frame. You still got in the same place because you're on the chart that generated the arrow.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So let's Okay. Bye. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here we got the bounce, the arrow, and go. Right. So what I do is you're going to get the alert here. This candle is going to start forming right here. The next candle. That's a 15-minute candle. That means 15 minutes will go by of your life and before you know whether or not you're going to go into profit. So this is where I do my peekaboo technique. In 5, let's go down. See where this is at? Okay. You got that up arrow already. I got a fractal high. It's starting to reverse. M1, that up arrow. Okay, now M1 is a little bit tricky because as we can see here, let me move over right here. So this is right roughly around where that entry came in, right? And what I would have done, because that is a 15-minute candle, I would have waited for some minutes just to kind of see what happened. And 9 times out of 10, you'll start seeing these ranging, and it'll either shoot up or it'll go down, right? So that's why I dropped to low time frames to try to get like a sniper entry, because I'm trying to wait for a couple minutes to go by to really see what it's doing. If there's momentum and I get that up arrow and it's not moving as slow as it is on the M15 right now, then oh yeah, I'm getting it. Like here, there was momentum. You felt it. I'm sure you guys were all looking at your screens going, woo, this baby's going through the moon. That's momentum. And that's what I love about AIRO, is because it's a momentum indicator. So what you have to do though, is it'll show you when the momentum's slow and it'll show you when it's like jumping jiving. Okay. So that's one of the things that I look for is like, okay, what is it doing on the lower time frames? Because here, if you look closer, this is also something that gives you a little bit of indication of where it's going to go. This arrow is pointing up into what type of candle? Anybody want to tell me? Panelists?
Good question. No, we hear you. I don't do a lot of candles. So I'm
Okay,
not a
so this
I'm not a
anytime-
candlestick specialist.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm a snipe trader on I'm a sniper on the indices. And one of the things that I found is that an arrow going into a bearish candle, because this is actually bearish, this is red on the edges, right? If you go and zoom into your chart, and that's the only reason why Al was giving me a little hard time, because I was like, your chart's a little different than mine. The candles are not the same, but this gives me true an indication on what's happening, right? Because it's saying right here that it's bearish, it's going down. So if I'm trying to go up, that's not where I want to head. I don't want to head down. So that's why I'm waiting for the next candle. That's why I'll go look and I'll see what the other time frames are doing, because this to me is a no entry right now, just for right now, right? Now, if the next candle was this lime light green, oh yeah, I'm in it, right? Next candle goes lime green, oh, I'm in. Okay, so here, because it was a bearish candle, not a bullish candle, where it says we're on a bull run, all right? Like I was telling you guys before on a previous call, is I see Forex like I see sports, right? You're in the NFL, right? And right now, you know, the Bulls had the ball, but the Bears came back with their defense, okay? And they didn't come back like with a, you know, small vengeance. They came back with a strong vengeance, right? So that's where I think, Matt, when you say this is a minefield, you know, this is like literally, you know, messing with your mind, because when you get that bounce or go, immediately you want to jump in. But I caution people to say, look, sometimes it'll work in your favor, you know, but you got to read what the chart is saying to you, because literally AIRO is giving you so much information that is almost, if you're not careful, it could be overwhelming to someone who's getting started. So yes, we say bounce, arrow, go, right? And technically that's correct, because let's see here. How many, you guys know how many pips it drew down? Anybody? When you guys got in? I'm even going to do it from the top of this candle, just in case you guys got in from the top. So we were only looking at 17 pips. Okay. So could you have taken this trade? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could you got it in at a more sniper time? You could have got in on this candle when it turned lime green, because that's probably what I would have done. Right.
Yeah,
and that would have been a better position. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's an extra what, 5 pips?
Extra 5 pips?
Yeah.
But for Matt, for somebody who's getting started, even a pip drawdown to them is like devastating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially when it comes to like indices, when we get to talking indices on these calls, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
50 pip, 100 pip, oh my God. I mean, literally, your whole life starts to flash in front of you. You start thinking of kids you never, you know, they never were born. What you could have done when you were 17.
Oh yeah, you know? That bad.
So
eh?
my biggest thing is like, why not create a formula for your own self to where you don't have to have as much stress, right? So it may be 5 pips to you, Matt, but for somebody else who has a smaller account, that's life. Like that's light flashing before their eyes. So this is the reason why I talk about, you know, the peekaboo technique. I also talk about with my group, this up arrow going into a bearish candle. Right. I don't like seeing that, because I know the next candle more than likely is going to be bearish too. Right. Because it was trying to push down and the bears were like moving. It's like bears and bulls on the playing field going back and forth. I don't like being in those type of trades. So if I can find a better entry, I would have more than likely got in on this area because it touched the moving average and it went back up, and I would have gotten that trade. So let's look at that, because this is how I trade on indices. Let's see, drawdown was 9 pips instead of 17. Okay, that's a 6 pip difference to someone who has a smaller account. That could mean the world, because in their mind, they're just getting into what we've already mastered, right? And so it's like really stressful to be in drawdown at any given time, guys. I mean, even us as traders, we know the feeling. We know the feeling. We get a drawdown. But that's where, like Matt said, please watch how much you're leveraging your account. Please watch that you're making sure that you're making sound decisions and using stop loss. Please make sure you're using the bag entries. Then you won't have to send me a DM saying, oh, I'm in drawdown. I'm in, extreme drawdown. Do I shut out my trade? I can't make, Matt can't make, Al can't make, Nathan can't make, Jackie, Dante. I mean, I can keep going through it. None of us can make that decision. It is your account. It's your account, so you got to be a little bit smarter about your moves.
You should never be in crazy drawdown. You should never be in crazy drawdown. Never. Hey, you want something cool? You see that big bearish candle right before the alert?
Mm-hmm.
No, bullish. Sorry, bullish. The green one, left.
Oh yeah,
left.
Yeah.
That one. All right. Put a fibbo from the wick of that candle to the top of that candle. Okay. Tell me what the pullback is on that other green candle. 38.2. Sorry, 50.61.8.
Where are you at?
Right there. Two candles over.
Yeah, right here.
Yep. What is it?
That's pretty much at the 50 mark, to be honest.
Right. Right. Yeah. So what holds true in Elliott wave, okay? What holds true in Elliott wave is fractal. It happens on the 15-minute. It happens on the 1 minute. So whatever you do with Fibos can be applied on every time frame, even the 1 minute candles.
That's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, just a little something there for you. Let's go through some more questions.
I'm trying to make an arrow pointing down to this little wick here to help you guys.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
I was trying to be a genius here. That was.
You are. You have nothing to prove. What do we got here? What do we got on alert? You got S&P 1. Okay.
I'm doing indices, my friend.
I know you're smoking it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's. What else do we have alert wise, guys? Is there anything else?
British Swiss, I see one just before the US 500.
British Swiss.
I don't think it's going to be tradable because I think it's too close to a red zone, but we'll take it out. It is in an uptrend. We do have an up arrow.
You sharing your screen? Yeah.
Oh, no.
No. Let me stop. So you
cool,
can
Mo.
share now.
Appreciate your insight. Really.
Pleasure's all mine, my friend. Pleasure's all mine.
Okay. And then I have a other little tidbit I'd like to share after we get done with this analysis here. In an uptrend, we're going to put an up arrow. I can see there's a red zone right up here, so it's probably not going to have enough room to get 20 pips, but I'm going to mark my chart anyway. So I'm going to do an up arrow because we are in an uptrend on a 15-minute chart. And here's our zone. Just move it up there. I know that there's a zone right here. If that goes away, I'll know that to pay attention to that zone was taken out. Scale out, and we're going to measure where the arrow is, where the close of the arrow, which was prices. You can see prices down below. So I mean, this candle opened up right here, and we're going to look and see, do we have 20 pips? We only have 7 pips to the zone, not a trade. If it pulls back further and then gives us another up arrow. So right now, what I can do right now is I can say, where is this zone at? Where do we have it? So we know we're in an uptrend. So I'm just going to project, just mark the area so that if this thing pulls back and gives me another up arrow, then I'll know I can where I can maybe get into this trade. So I'm going to take my cursor here and see where this bottom of this zone is. And I can see it's at 121.96. So I'm going to go into my object list and I'm going to go with a target edit of 1.2996. That should give me a target. I did 121.96. I said right. Target 1.2196. That's a little better. There's my target. If I can get to a trade where that would be my target, I'll subtract 20 pips from that. So at 121.76, so I'm going to go 1.2176, and that would be an entry. And I would have a stop set for 40 pips below that. So that'd be 121.36. So 1.2136. There would be my stop. I'm going to make sure I have this the right color because I changed my colors today. I'm going to change them as I go along. Here's a yellow, orange. Okay, and so there's my target. So now I know I can't take this trade, but if this thing should pull back and give me another up arrow before this zone, I know I'm already good to take that trade. I'm in an uptrend. I already have it set up. So within 2 seconds, I can look and see if I get another up arrow. I know this one won't work, but what if I can get this thing to pull back and maybe give me a little bit of we have a little bit of a wedge down here.
Yeah.
So,
this would be different because there's no green zone down there for it to bounce off of. So it's not.
But what if we have a little thing like this?
Yes.
And suppose we have a little trend line here. Here's an anchor. Here's a nice pullback that got rejected. So this price right in this area got rejected. So we know that we can't take it because we don't have the room. But what if the price comes back down, bounces off of this, and gives me an up arrow, and it's before this line? I know I can take that trade.
Because it's going to have enough room, right?
Because it's going to have enough room.
Right. But just for the sake of clarity, guys, there is no bounce on a green zone here. So this is not strategy 1.
Right.
This is
exactly
this is incorporating trend lines, and this is a little bit different. Okay.
Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody.
No, but I just wanted to make sure everyone's understanding this. Still a good potential trade because there's so many ways to trade this. Okay.
Yep.
I saw that question in the chat. So.
Okay. And here's something I want to share with everybody, and this is more of knowledge base. As you're learning how to trade, and there's a lot of new people in this room, think of yourself as a penny. And with that penny, let's say every day you come in here, you get a little bit more information. And right now, now that's 2 cents. So you say, okay, I still have a long way to go before I'm going to have the knowledge base. But think of this not being money, but think of it as knowledge. And you come in the room the second day and you get a little bit more knowledge and you double your knowledge. After a while, you even here you say, well, I feel a whole lot better, but look what happens when you start to learn. And this is, if you take a penny and you double it 30 times, how many people, some people probably know the answer to this, but what do you expect that the compounding of this is going to be after just 30 times you compound it? And if you look and you compound it down to 30 times, it's going to be probably right about in there.
All right.
And you open up your knowledge base, look what that penny does just by compounding and compounding and compounding. Now, here's the trick to this. You say, and I say, well, if you have a penny that can double it, shoot, I'm just going to reach in my pocket and I'm just going to put $5,000 in. Now I only have to compound it 4 or 5 times. The problem is you don't know how to compound it every time because you don't have the knowledge base. But as you gain the knowledge base, eventually then you build on that knowledge, you build on the knowledge, you get a little bit more. It doesn't look like much now, but after a while, it starts becoming exponential.
All right, guys.
Base the same way as compounding a penny or compounding your account. It doesn't look like much at the very beginning, but as you go more and more down, as you get more and more knowledge, if you can keep that consistency, let's put this in real terms. Let's say you have a $500 account and you're going to compound this at 3% a week. And every week you're going to make 3%. Well, the first week, that $500, you only have $15, but you know what? That'll buy you dinner. Next week you have another 45 cents more. But after about 12 weeks, after 3 months, Now that $500 is now you're up at $712. It's starting to get a little bit more significant. But in order to get down to this level where you start making an extra $35 a day or a week, that's where you make the difference. But you have to get the knowledge base in order to get to that point. And that's what you're doing in this room. You're coming in, you're getting a knowledge base to be able to build on that knowledge so you can start looking at some of these trades and maybe capitalize on some of the moves. And that's
all right. That's awesome. So let's take
a look at those alerts, buddy.
Yeah. Let's fire that off. So you got pound
Eurocad.
yen.
Eurocad.
No, let's start with pound yen first. Someone we got. Oh
pound
goodness.
Yen. I don't see a pound yen.
Oh, I got pound yen. A couple other people got pound yen.
Yeah,
really?
It came in the same time the pound.
Maybe I might have it on the wrong time frame. Let's see, pound yen.
Yeah,
pound yen, 15 minute. Yeah. Now, why did mine not show up there?
It was on your alerts.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
under there.
Or is this the one we've already been in?
It was we were in the pound Swiss.
Okay.
Yeah, pound yen.
Right. Pound yen. Okay, let's take a look at it.
You got a little green zone. You got an arrow. So officially, there's no. Well, what do you think, guys?
I'm not seeing anything to stop it right now.
No, and that's the thing. There's nothing up there. So maybe not exactly a bag entry or whatnot.
Let's see if there's a little zone here on the lower time frame. Like they'll do.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing up there. So
they're on the 1 minute. There is.
Yeah, 1 minute, but that's not you have to worry about.
1 minute.
But it's
On
just
the peekaboo strategy.
My peekaboo strategy, boo! Let's do this.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Actually, that was another question. How do you do the peekaboo strategy? So what if we go do the peekaboo strategy on the pound yen as we speak, just to give some people, because familiarity is going to come with exposure. So as you get more exposed to this stuff, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, it's peekaboo, and oh yeah, this is bank induction, and this is bag, and this is not a bag, and it's going to come over time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so peekaboo, how about that?
He did do just that. He actually went down, man.
Oh, look at that.
You were watching, yeah, and
No,
on the
I was
M1,
talking.
we got a resistance zone.
Okay.
That just popped up. So that's the reason why on the M15 it's going the opposite direction.
Right.
Was that a bouncer? Oh, heck yeah, peoples. But on the lower time frame, it said, I ain't going up anymore. Not right now.
Yeah, so you're going to wait. You're going to wait for your confirmation for a buy, yes?
Yeah, I wouldn't just wait for confirmation. I keep my eye on this one. Because it's possible that it could blow through that resistance on the M1. That's when I would get in. Because right now you can see
at something.
Baby, are you down? Yeah, it's going down.
but that's fine because it needs to pull back and act like a slingshot. So you got let me check something. Oh yeah, that's fine. Look, it's yeah. All right, so let's not do too much chart woo too much chart magic, okay? I don't want to get too much into that, but let's say if it bounces, we'll do some fibbo work. How about that? From the origination of the move to the pullback, if you get a bounce somewhere from 142.52 or 146, something like that. 142.38, somewhere in there. The 38 to 46, somewhere like that zone. That's probably where you're going to pull back. If it pulls back any deeper than that, I might not consider taking that long. But if it pulls back within that zone, then I'm looking for it to just pop. But yeah, you're absolutely correct, Mo. I am not taking that right now. I'm gonna wait for the pullback, the retracement. I'm gonna sit there.
You know what it reminds me of, Matt? Have you ever seen the movie 300?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
You remember when they were, it was like 300 men against a gazillion, and literally they all have their shields up, and you heard the leader of the pack, Spartan pack. He's like, hold. Yeah, that's what you need to do when you're in Forex.
Yeah, well,
Don't get emotional.
Listen, the better your entry is, the more profit you can potentially take. Because when you get used to it, you're not when you get used to it, you're not going to need to take a 40 pip stop loss.
Woo! We were talking about that on a little one-on-one call, man. That's so true. That is so true, guys. I mean, follow what we're sharing with you, because this is going to be gold for you in the future. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to bounce, there we go. And then you're going to kick yourself in the butt if you don't use my peekaboo.
Yeah, well,
just hold the line.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, hold on. I'm going to chime in real quick because I know two people said, Eurocad. No, you on Eurocad, just FYI. Because there wasn't 20 pips in movement for that trend to go, right? Now, could you taken it for like 5 pips or 9 pips? Yeah. But we trying to get the bag, folks. So, I mean, if you're okay with the 5 pip, 9 pip, when you would have gotten in on it, that'd have been fine. But you have to remember, Nathan said, when the arrow comes up, you have to measure between that candlestick that you're about to enter on to the next zone. And if there's not a 20 pip, actually at least 20 pips of movement, that could actually happen, don't go in the trade, just an FYI, because I know people were sitting there like, oh, please, Eurocad. No. Right. I can already tell you. We're already looking at that. I'm like, I just don't want people to get anxious that we missed a trade, because we didn't.
No, exactly. So right now you're sitting, all right. So pound yen bounced at the 38.2. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you got that big candle up. So that's a 5 pip, 5 minute candle. It's a pretty strong rejection of that, but it's not enough to say that it's going to continue in that trend.
Right.
That's not the way she works.
And that's the reason why we got to hold the line. Like someone said, hold the line, Trayvon. I see you, boo. Hold the line. That's so true. Guys, think about it. If we're going into casino and you walk in, let's say with $1,000 in your pocket, how much of that do you want to lose? The only reason why you're going into the casino because you think you're going to win, right? And we already determined that the house always wins, right? Forex has been around longer than you have been studying Forex. But as a result, it is the house. The thing is that we're trying to beat it at its own game so we can have more wins than losses. We're going to take losses, folks, but we just want to minimize them by setting our mindset and having the tools to craft our journey into being profitable, right? So the way I see Forex is you guys are super, super smart for getting on here this morning and joining us in this conversation. Why? Because you're above 90%, if not 95% of the people that are out there trying to trade Forex. Why? Because they're not getting in here and learning. They're just, they're going up to the table with $1,000 in their pocket. Hey, give me some chips. And they're throwing trades just like it was like, it was like candy, right? That's not what you're supposed to be doing, because this, I don't know about y'all, but for many people all over the world, and I heard a really powerful story last week, all over the world, $1,000 can be a month's worth of earnings. Okay. So when you go into the market with, I don't care if it's a penny, if it's $1, if it's $100, 1,000, 100,000, don't go in this market just throwing trades in, hoping that you win. Go in there looking for confluence that the trade that you're about to place will more than likely have a higher probability, 80% or higher, of going in your direction. That's what we're trying to get you guys to do. That's the reason why I'm teaching you guys my little sniper technique, where I'll drop down to the lower time frames, because I want to see, what's happening here. See that resistance zone in the M1 that we've seen, that literally stopped it from going where we thought it was going to go.
Well, it's fractal, right?
What, baby? Say that again?
It's fractal. So whatever happens at a 15 minute is going to happen at the 5 and the 1. It has to happen on the 1 minute before it ever happens on the 5 and the 15. So if you're catching it lower, brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got another question. A lot of people asking about EG. Guys, the entry was on that big candle. I'm still sticking into it, okay? Because that's what it looked like a good bag entry. I'm sitting there. You're gonna take heat on these trades. That's why there's a 40 pip stop loss. There are ways to shrink that stop loss, but if you're starting, don't worry about shrinking it. Just get your win rate up. Win 70% of your trades, and then worry about adjusting your stop loss.
And it's still below the moving average. So
It is. It didn't break
no
that.
reason to panic.
Right. Everyone's
Now, if the candles start closing above the moving average, then I would say don't wait for it to hit your stop loss.
Oh, you mean lower, right? Under?
This is a sell.
Over.
It's a sell. So if it goes above the moving average.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it closes, the candles close above, then I think me personally, I would be getting out of it.
Right. So, but if you're not comfortable in a trade and it comes against you and you don't based on your experience and stuff, get out of the trade. Don't hold on to something that you don't feel comfortable being in. Don't be in a trade because we're still in a trade.
Right. That's so true.
Like there's
guys, it goes back. Remind them. It goes back to what you said before. Go into the game, okay? Because this is like NFL, but on the Forex playing field. Go into the game with intending that could potentially happen, right? What is going to be the loss? Can you accept that loss? If you can, then jump into the trade. If you can't, stay out. You
right.
know? And the thing is know how much you need to leverage. Risk management, money management. Guys, that's the reason why a lot of people felt like because they don't even manage their pocketbook. The same thing with Forex. You got to know what you're getting into. You got to know what the drawdown is. You got to know, clearly if you would have gotten into that trade and you pulled your stop loss from that trade from the MT4, it literally tells you how much money you're going to lose. Can you afford to lose that? That's what you need to ask every trade you take. Can you afford to lose that? If it's a no, and you got in, you get out. I'd rather you lose pennies than you lose more.
Well, that's the way she goes. So quick notes, okay? Someone wants you to put the peekaboo technique on a PDF. Now, I honestly think it's so simple that their PDF would be overkill.
I have a video.
Oh, you do? Okay. Maybe we could share that just so that people could have. But I think, if you wouldn't mind doing that, I think people could benefit from that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it through Zoom.
That's okay. You're fine. We'll talk later and we'll get it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that in there.
Y'all need to reach out to me. I'm at Grow with Coach Mo. Well, no, I'm not. I'm at Join the Rat Pack? No, Join the Wolf Pack.
Oh, Rat Pack. Come on now.
I know. I don't even know why I said Rat Pack. That's actually a part of World Ventures. It was the best thing ever. Went on a $99 cruise, 6 days, 5 nights. But
really?
They changed their platform.
Goodness
Dude,
gracious.
me and my kids literally traveled the world for pennies on the dollar with World Ventures, but they changed their platform, so I got out. I was like,
oh,
I know, I was so sad. I went to Disney World for $1,000. Me and my 2 kids, VIP experience, no joke. Got to skip all the lines, stay on the Disney Resort for $1,000.
That's
best thing
amazing.
ever. Best
That's
thing
amazing.
ever.
All right.
Yeah, one of these days.
When my kids get to the age where they can enjoy Disney, then we'll hit that up.
Hey, well, no, they don't. I don't think they have that anymore, babe. I don't think
probably.
that World Ventures actually has those packages anymore. But I can tell you how to do it for pretty much pennies on the dollar.
That's why
to do that.
Yeah, that's why I like having friends.
Literally, if you guys master the credit game, Woo! Just took a trip. Okay, bought 9 flight tickets, people. $50 out of my pocket for 9 flight tickets. You masters the credit game, your life will change forever. Stayed at a 5-star resort. Didn't even know how much I paid, and someone called me bougie. And I said, well, I didn't even pay for it. My credit card points paid for it. This is what you get when you come with coaches like us. Like, you're gonna learn a lot more than just Forex, in my opinion. But hey, Forex.
Oh no, we're not even talking about this stuff, because I didn't even. Very few people know what I do for my day job. So let's maybe sometime we might have a discussion about credit. Anyway.
Yeah, it'd be a fun thing, because once they start making this money, man, they're gonna need to understand credit, because it'll be a game changer for them. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So can you show, all right, step by step, that's going to be in the chat. Share your Fibo setup on pound yen. Okay, I can do that in a bit.
Say, Matt, just to let you know, Mariska's in the room.
Oh, Mariska.
I see her in there.
That is wonderful. Thanks for keeping your eyes open for that. We dropped a couple people here. We're at, we still got a great crowd at 140 people. Maybe when we started talking about some kind of advanced, more advanced things than just the basics, may have lost a couple people. But you know what? It's fine. As you keep on being exposed to this, you'll get more and more comfortable. It'll start making more and more sense. But the first time you see it, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what in the world are you guys talking about? Because it's a foreign language. You didn't come out of mama's womb trading bags or trading the Forex. There's an understanding, okay? And I don't want to go so much into the advanced stuff, because I could show you pitchforks and Fibonacci, and I can show you some things that knock your socks off, but it doesn't. It's not gonna benefit people unless they understand the foundations of bags. The foundations. I'm gonna keep on preaching that and repeating it. Get the foundations. Get 100 demo trades in, and then you'll understand. Okay, we're getting a little bit of heat. Big deal. All right. You're not gonna have perfect entries on every trade. And some trades are really going to go against you, and that's okay too. That's still built within your win rate. I don't see Mariska.
I saw Mariska. Maybe I.
No, I think it's the other Mariska.
Yeah, there was another Mariska in there.
Okay, maybe I got.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay.
That's okay. Let me see here. Did we get another alert, guys? You got US 500, eh?
US 500, yeah.
Your S&P. So also a little bit of guidance, guys. If you haven't, maybe some people are really hungry for indices and they love indices, then do indices. But if you're brand new to this whole world of trading, I would probably hesitate to get involved in indices or gold or whatnot. And the reason is because they move differently than Forex pairs. So if you want to learn one thing, stick to one thing, kind of learn that first, learn the foundation work, and then move on from there. I'm thinking we're probably all. I have to actually leave today right now, so
I can keep it going for another 30 minutes if you need to go.
Can you, Al?
We got you, Matt.
Yeah.
You guys all right? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make you and Mo both host and co-host, and then All right, Al, you're gonna have to make Mo co-host because I gave you host and now I can't make her
Oh,
co-host.
okay.
So
All right.
look at
I
that.
love it.
There we
But
go.
Al, someone asked about the pound yen Fibo setup. You can,
Pound yen Fibo. Let's
yeah.
see.
Al and I trade so similar. I mean, we've been trading systems for quite a while at this point. So,
Yes, it's getting up there, isn't it?
phew, what? How many live sessions did we do, Al? Over 100?
I don't know. We started back in September, I guess. So yeah, it's probably been over 100 or close.
Every
to
morning, every morning together, pretty much. And Eva's been there, and it's been a real adventure and growth, and Christine as well. Oh, look at that.
So we have lots of green. We have a zone, a pound yen. Let's take a look at this. Move it out a little bit. Yeah, I'm okay taking this trade.
I've been in it for a while, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's like it has a nice little pullback. I'm okay taking this. We have let me see here. Here's where our target is. That's our 20 pip target. Now there's another target. I think I may have moved it up. Here's where I look at, if you look over to the left of the chart, which you can't see, the next zone I'm looking at is right up here. It looks like there's a big old straight up candle on a higher time frame that gave me that point right there. Let me just double check this real quick.
What do we have on the 1 minute, more or less, anyway, before I got to bail? Yeah, Robert, you're right. When you go to the peekaboo, you're going to want to not take the trade into the zone, right, Mo?
That's right, correct. Like if you see let's say for example, we just seen now on GJ, we've seen that it gave us the up arrow. It was a bounce arrow go, but then we peeked back at M5 and M1 and we found an actual zone that had popped up in the opposite direction. We don't take the trade.
There we go. Clean, cut, and dry. We're going to potentially
welcome, Judson. Love you, man.
Yeah. So
sorry, Matt. I had to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So let's do that.
I'm going to show something here on this CAD yen, British yen we're looking at, right? That's what.
All right. Yeah, I think pound yen is what we were doing.
Pound yen. Yep. Okay. So.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry to interrupt. That zone's going to disappear, Coach Mo.
And it might. And when it does, leg up.
Yeah, no, it's going to disappear like quick time. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I would have kept my eye on it. Not joke. No joke.
All right.
It needs to close above the 142.72 before you're pretty much out of the woods, which is 142.72, which is right about in the middle of where these two are. It's right about in there, and I'll show you what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, go ahead, Al. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just getting excited because I saw this setup, and this is
basically the trade right here. Now I'm on a daily chart, and I had to go all the way back to August of last year before I found out where this high has been challenged, and we are right at that point right now. The price right now is 140.72 is right now. The price I'm looking at is about 142.57. It may be a little different feed than what we're looking at. But right now, we've got this little wick right here, and that's where it was rejected. But if you look over here to the left a little bit more, you can see it made some other highs. Now we're talking all the way back. This high was made back in February of last year. This is a year ago. So we had a nice little move down. Never looked back. Let me take this off here. And if you, I said we had to go all the way back to a daily chart, all the way back to February, to be able to get this little zone right here, which is right where we are right now. I would say that we're looking at we're in what I would call a supply zone. And this is the stuff you're not going to get anyplace else. And price has, keep in mind that price has memory. It may be a long memory, but it has memory. So right here is the area where I'd be looking at this. If this thing can break this, we're looking at this zone right up in here for a target. That's where I came up with that 143.30 area. It does have some strength. It's in an upward channel. And if I draw, so if I go back to, we have this zone right now. So this is where I'm going to, so we have actually this level, and we also have it where it's coming up into, let me take this all the way over here. Let me bring it on down just a little bit right to there. And that's going to take it right into this area right in here. And so this is where we're at, right? This is the one we're going to have to be looking at because there was a big rejection off of this price. So, and you see it's breaking through it. Now the question is, can this 15-minute candle close above that area? And it looks like it did. It came up closed, but now it has a little bit of a basing right here. It found some sellers right up in this area. And if we look and draw we have a little drop. Here's a little bit of a wedge, and it came back up, retesting this area. Strong move up, basing. It broke from this area, and now it's coming up, and now it made a new high. So we have a little bit of a higher high there. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to draw it up like that. So there's a little bit of an uptrend. It broke this high. Now, if you look and see that it did not close above, see where this is the highest body over here. And you can see that if I pull this down, it's, boy, just, if it did, it just barely did. It closed right about the exact same price as where it closed before. It popped up, it was rejected. Now it's basing. So it's very possible that we have
could have a big wedge form here, Al, before it
get a
pops
very
through
big
there.
wedge. Yeah, because right now we have a little higher trend line here. So it's got a little bit of a slope up here. Now, if I come back all the way to this one, here's an anchor, here's a hit, here's the third hit of the trend line. And we have a nice little slope up here off of this. This is where technicals come into play. So we have a hit, we have a hit. Now these are all 15-minute candles, but that right now, this is the trading zone it's in right now. It's going to have to break through this green 15-minute fib line. It's going to have to break through that before it's going to come up here, but that's where our targets are going to be. So it has potential. It has a nice little push, but just know that you're near the end of a big move. But
So
the move still has room to the upside.
Yeah, so you're saying if it comes down and tags the bottom of your trend line, that could be a really good entry.
Right. Or I want to have my stop at least. Now, where's our stop on this one? Let me move this over here so we can see where our stop is. Our stop is at 142.24. You see what that looks, 142.24 is where our stop is on this.
That's way down there.
122.24. So basically it's right here. Right in this little area right in here. So I'm going to mark this. This is the last place that the trend line was. I'm going to keep all these right below these bodies. And this is going to be, I'm going to call this a trap.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go for now. I have a couple things I got to rush to, but thank you so much for all being here. Thank you for all the panelists for contributing and being here and helping out. Gonna talk to Dante, make sure that he's everything's all right on his end. And
yeah, what happened to Dante today?
Well, we'll find out. I know he was taking some time with his family, so it was really important. I know he was traveling as well, so but we'll see you guys sooner than later. The call is still going to go on for a while. Al and Coach Mo are going to be here. Eva, they're going to handle all the questions. And
yeah, we have about 15 more minutes, and we'll be done.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I will leave you guys there.
Yeah, but here's as I move down to a 5-minute chart, and this is putting this thing under a microscope. We have a nice little move up. We have a nice little pullback. And we'll see if it, here's a little wedge right here. We have a little triangle. Here's our high. Oh, gotta grab it here. We're going to take it as in an uptrend, so we're going to take it from high to low to a high. Here's a higher low. Here's a lower high. Here's our wedge. We can maybe move this one out a little bit, and I like to move this one down and just see if we can maybe catch it with a flat top on the top and see if we can grab some pips with this. Our entry on this was at 142.64.
And Alan, I'm going to chime in just for a second here because
Sure.
I was looking at your trap zone, and folks with AIRO, that little trap zone that he positions right there is your moving average on your is a little bit off, just a little bit by like 0.01, but as your moving average on your AIRO. So if it were to touch down there and then blow past it, that's when, you know,
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna probably change direction. But here we're at a resistance zone right now, and that's the reason why it's moving like snail mail. It can go a little bit down, it can retest that area of the trap area and then go straight back up. So anything can happen, but I love this. I love you showing even the wedges because I'm super into wedges now.
And you can, and if I've got another little indicator that that one chart I showed you about the strength of the different currencies compared to each other, and right now it's still showing that on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour and 30-minute time frame, is still showing significant strength to the Japanese yen, which means that with the pound being stronger, it should be to the upside, and we're just giving it time to breathe.
Nice.
Just breathe.
We're just waiting for a sniper entry so we don't have as much drawdown, people. That's all.
But the entry, anything below, we have the up arrow, we have the entry, and I mean, you could get in now. It's still because you're actually getting a better fill. And this would be their target. I would right now. I'd pretty stick to the 20 pip target, just to factor in such a because of that price that we had back in this price point here. This was back in the 20. Well, actually earlier this morning. So basically, London came in, drove it up, came back down, and I was seeing if it's going to make continue with the uptrend or if it's going to consolidate and it may just, the fact we're getting near the London session, this thing could just go sideways for a little while here. It would not surprise me at all to see it just stays in this range for, let's see, take it over to like here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it stay in this range probably through till, let's see, that's 1 o'clock is pretty much the end of the money zone. So you're right about there. If it breaks through here, that would just give you, give you another little chance to get back in with a little bit better entry. This is right where the entry was, I believe at 52, 56 was the entry. And that's just the analysis of that one. But right now, there's no reason to not take the trade. You have lots of room to the upside. You have a nice zone to the downside. This is still 40 pips away. And that's the way that works.
Love it. Now, folks that are still on the call, does anybody have any questions?
Well, there's a couple in the Q&A. Well, Nicholas is asking, he says that he can see that we're using many pairs beyond the 10 that Nathan uses or has indicated, let's put it that way. Are we seeing comparable success or are you in experimental mode? Well, I can say that we look at all 28 pairs and we just take each alert on its own merit. You won't get alerts only for the charts that you have up on your MT4. So we just kind of look at them all as far as comparable success. I mean, the alert is the alert is the alert. So as long as you follow the rules, regardless of which pair it is, the outcome is still going to be the same. You're still going to average approximately 80% profit and 20% where it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything to add?
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that if the pairs that Nathan has for the most part are the European pairs, the British, the Euro, the Swiss, the Canadian, and the US dollar. Those are the 5 pairs and the combinations of those that are the pairs that are actively trading of the region within that money zone. If you're in the money zone, you start trading, looking at alerts from like a New Zealand, Australian pair, which is not in their time frame of where the country is located, you probably won't get quite the same volatility as you would if you're trading the European pairs during the European session, the US pairs during the US session, and the combination of the two in the crossover between the Euro and the London and the New York session. So it's probably best to try and keep the pairs within the region of the time frame that you're trading. But there's a lot of people that are trading the Asian session, so that's where a lot of those pairs came through as they come into from the Asian session coming into the London session. And that's probably the best reason I'd have, or that best explanation. I wouldn't say it's experimental because the price action is a price action, which is what the AIRO alerts are generating based on the price action. Just a matter of which pairs and which time zone you're looking at.
Right, and it's not just price action that we set at the beginning of the day. We're talking about price action as the market begins to move throughout the day, and that's something like you don't get anywhere. It's fire, people, fire. But I was going to say, just to also chime in on what you just shared with everybody, Al, is folks go through your back office and go through Nathan's training. He has all the pairs you can trade in different time zones, right? But we talk about the E pairs and G pairs because of the simple fact that as far as win ratio, the 20-40 rule, 20 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss, whatever, he was able to, due to the movements of those pairs, be able to come up with that strategy, right? Where that people who have tested the software out had 80% win ratio, if not higher, while it was being tested across the globe. So just kind of give you guys, heads up on that. But I trade indices. So no, we're not experimenting. We're actually benefiting from how powerful the AIRO software is by giving us additional confluences and actually showing us, price action as it's happening, which is fire.
That was an excellent question.
Oh my goodness.
Good question.
Someone asked me a question, Mo, are you saying you wouldn't take until the up momentum on the M1? You're going to have to be more specific because I don't know which chart you're talking about. But yeah, typically when I do my peekaboo technique, I'm trying to figure out whether or not that trade is valid for the time I'm trading, right? So typically I trade between roughly 6 to 9 every morning, sometimes a little bit earlier. And so if I see it down on M1 and on my peekaboo technique, it is starting to reverse, I just wait. It's not that I don't get in the trade, I just wait. Oh, someone said GJ. Okay, so yeah, as far as GJ is concerned, I wouldn't even got in the trade at all until I knew what it was doing, because when we drop down to the M1 and we see on the M1 that resistance zone propped up, that red resistance zone, I already know automatically is going to start going down automatically without fail. I don't care if it breaks through an hour from now. I already know right now while I'm trading, I wouldn't take it because I don't have time to like sit here and hope and wish that it would go up again. Because what it's telling me on M1 is, look, I'm not doing it. I'm not going up any longer, at least for this moment, right? And until that sucker breaks through, I'm not getting in that trade for GJ. Hopefully that answers your question. Did it answer your question? Because I do see you typing as I'm talking.
Actually, Mo, while you're there, can you answer Robert's question above that one? That's for you as well.
Oh, is it? Okay, Robert, love you. On the peekaboo, 15-minute got the green arrow. 5-minute does a resistance. Is the idea to wait till the resistance? Heck yeah, Robert. You got it, buddy. Yeah. If you're on a pair and you get an up arrow and you see a resistance zone pop up in the lower time frames, do not take the trade. Sorry. I hate to, break it to you, but don't take the trade. Now, could it blow past it? Oh, absolutely. It could sure blow past it. I've seen it happen. But oftentimes what happens is it'll go draw down even further just to kind of balance itself out, So it's a yin and yang, move back, move, the Forex market doesn't go straight up and it doesn't go straight down, right? So it's a give and a take. So what they're trying to do is position themselves for the next move that they're going to make, whether that's up or down, they're trying to position themselves. You need to position yourself with the house, right? You see the house shuffling cards, you need to get in the game, shuffle your own cards and figure out what the heck the house is doing. You don't go in with all your chips and be like, oh, I hope that it just, because I got the bounce arrow go, it's going to go in my direction. No, do my peekaboo technique and you're going to save yourself a lot of money. And you're also, in most cases, you're either once you get to the level that we're at, you'll be able to catch a reverse on a trend, okay? Or B, you just get a better sniper entry. Martin, I see a resistance zone on the 4-hour time from, I think, Martin, were you the one I was responding to in the chat? I don't know.
No, that was.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the same resistance. You know what? And that's what I said on the GJ on 4-hour and money zone and M1, right? The minute chart. It showed 2 resistance zones that popped up on both charts. You're absolutely right. That's why I wouldn't get in this trade. Because it may have tapped out. You may have said, nope, I'm going to reverse on you. You thought you were going to go up, but I say no. Because remember, guys, we can't. It's like going into a casino and trying to create your own rules. That ain't going to happen. The casino's going to rock you right out the front door. So you got to hear what the casino is saying. Here's our rules, and this is how we're going to play. And they'll give you some clues, And so the thing is that we got clues on M1 and H4 on GJ because there's resistance zones on both. Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys are looking through your charts and now using my peekaboo technique instead of just jumping into a trade and getting your butt handed to you. That's no fun. It's no fun at all.
Yeah. As I scale out of this, as I zoom out of this trade, look and see at the higher time frames, you can see that zone that I was showing you earlier shows up here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a higher time frame, which means that's a pretty heavy level. But you see that's right where we got that up arrow. But we still are in an uptrend, but you can also see that we're reaching near the end of that uptrend.
Yep, we reversed 100%. Could it go beyond? Absolutely.
Yeah, but you can see that the target, you see where my green line is, you can see it's really almost on the other side of this zone.
Martin, the answer is heck yeah. I'd get in there. If it breaks that zone, Al already showed you past price action back in February. It was at a higher price rate. So could it go up? Yes.
Yeah,
but just because it bounced off the zone and gave you an up arrow, it doesn't mean you take the trade because we immediately got that bounce arrow go and immediately was like, I'm tumbling down, 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 down. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I teach people my peekaboo technique because you just never know what it's going to do. It could blow past that zone and go to the next zone, which is great because then you could actually take profit up there. But we don't know. We're not, guys, you guys are not, and neither are we. We're not, what do they call those people where we see in the future?
Fortune tellers.
I love you, Mariska. Is that Mariska? Who's it? Eva?
Pardon?
Who's talking?
Eva.
That's
Eva. Love you, boo. Eva, you're absolutely right. We're not fortune tellers. We don't got a crystal ball sitting in front of us. We're more, let's put it this way. We are more like construction workers, right? We're trying to pound the pavement of the Forex market, right? And what we want to do is build an empire. The only way to do it is with the right tools, right? A construction worker doesn't come with his tool belt and just shows up with a hammer in his pocket. He actually shows up with a whole toolkit. That is AIRO for you guys. Bounce, AIRO, go. But hey, guess what? AIRO is so powerful that even gives you more tools to drop down to lower time frames or move up to higher time frames to see what the crowd is saying. What is the house saying? What is the general overall feel of it, you know, of that bounce, AIRO, go? What's going on in the higher time frames and lower time frames, especially when you're on M15? Always drop down to lower time frames and see what's going on.
And the last looks like the excuse me, the last alert looks like a Euro Yen. And then we're going to be wrapping this thing up for the day. And actually, we're getting near the end of the money zone here.
Ooh, look at that. That's pretty equal, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red zones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green zones. We have.
And you've got 2 arrows.
Do you know the rule on that?
And the rule on this is 50 pips in between. You can take it. So we're going to measure 50 pips. See if we have. So here's the beginning. Here's the end. We've got 46, 45 pips. It's 5 pips short of the rule. Besides that, you're already. Let's just see how this thing measures out to where the alert is before it gets to that zone. So let's put this up. We're going to just scroll in. And we're going to see if we can widen this out a little bit here. And you can see that right now we have, measure this out. Here's the alert, and here's the entry of the, let's say here's about where the entry was. We have 16 pips. There's not enough room to the upside. It's not a trade. And besides that, we're getting very close to the London sessions is pretty much already done. And we're coming into the noon of the
it's
US session.
A couple minutes after 12.
And so with that, I'm pretty much done taking trades this morning. I can't tell everybody how happy I am to see everybody in here. Hope you walk away with some tidbits of good information. And today's Wednesday, we'll be back tomorrow again. And everybody have a good day. Stay safe and
one last note.
Oh,
guys,
yes.
on that EJ, drop down to M1. You'll see that resistance zone. Love you. All right. Yeah, you were ending this call at a great note.
So
no, that was EJ, Martin. EJ, we're on EJ, not EG.
And
sorry, I had to.
You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't because that was an up arrow, and I'm like, it's not even moving. I wonder if there's a resistance zone. And sure enough, on M1, it was like bam, right there.
Oh, was it there? It was in the was it? Actually, can
I got you, Martin.
Quickly
we out this place, man.
we'll see everybody
Go ahead,
tomorrow.
Al, take it away. Because you were like the smooth criminal. Go ahead.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Love y'all.
Bye.